for the Oakland Athletics. It was this fly ball to Luis Polonia that clinched first place in the American League West for the A's. They had sole possession of first place since mid-April and coasted comfortably into the playoffs. The raw power of this man, Jose Canseco, as well as his glove and base running prowess, provided the inspiration. They were in a class by themselves. And things look bleak for newly appointed manager Joe Morgan. But with a veteran leadership provided by perennial batting champion Wade Boggs, clutch performances by outstanding young players, and a strong year by left fielder Mike Greenwell, the Boston Red Sox persevered to win the East. Today from Fenway Park in Boston, it's the Oakland A's versus the Boston Red Sox in Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Today, live from Fenway Park in Boston, it's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series between the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. It's a cool, damp day here in Boston. We're expecting rain through the course of the day. Temperature 42 degrees. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Benders. We come to this American League Championship Series. Two clubs who got here by considerably different paths. You look at the A's, they won 104 games. That's a record for the American League West. On the other hand, the Red Sox captured only 89 wins, and that's the lowest victory total for an American League East Division winner. Bruce Hurst going against Dave Stewart. More on that in just a moment. Right now, let me introduce you to the two members of our broadcast team, two future Hall of Famers. A guy who played here in '75 in the World Series for the Cincinnati Reds, two-time MVP of the National League, Joe Morgan. Joe, glad to have you with us. Joe, you look at this Red Sox ball club. They lost 6 of their last 7. Is that an area of concern for them?
Well, they have 2 areas of concern, Gary. They lost 6 of their last 7, but even more importantly, they lost their last 3 ball games to the Oakland A's. Now, some people say that does not matter going into the playoffs. I think it does matter because it gives the A's confidence of the fact that they can win. You only play exhibition games in spring training, so all the games count. I think Boston has to get off to a good start in this series in order to combat the A's confidence.
The newest member of our broadcast team was known as Mr. October. He hit some tape measure shots, 563 home runs in his career. He had some great days here in Fenway Park. I'm speaking, of course, about Reggie Jackson. Reggie, welcome to the broadcast team. The A's, they just destroyed the West. Now, do you think they've got too much confidence coming into this?
I don't think you can ever have too much confidence, Gary. I think the A's need to beware of the dog, and that dog could be the Boston Red Sox. They have 4 ball games here in this short 7-game series, and of course they had an outstanding record here during the season. They also have Bruce Hurst, who was an outstanding pitcher here, and that's why he has a start here. It's a very confident ball club here at Fenway Park.
We'll continue with more. We'll meet the first 40-40 man, along with Mike Greenwell, the guys who should finish 1-2 in the most valuable player voting in the American League. That in just a moment.
The American League Championship Series, brought to you by Acura, Legend, and Integra. Precision-crafted performance exclusively at your Acura dealer. And Alka-Seltzer. For stomach upset with a headache, send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
The Acura Legend sedan offers such amenities as leather-trimmed interior, sophisticated stereo system, and ergonomically designed controls. Is it any wonder people enjoy sitting in it? And with its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6, is it any wonder they enjoy standing on it? The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Here's why these members of the United States ski team prefer Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I came down with some mean cold symptoms. I was congested, I was tired, I couldn't breathe through my nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus and it helped to remove those cold symptoms.
I've got a number of guys that are depending on me, and I have to be out there the next day. And Alka-Seltzer Plus really helps me do that.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds. Try Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon?
One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. Sometimes you got it today. Emerson's got it right. Fine-tune your life. Nobody's gotta tell you. Emerson does it right. Fine-tune your life.
Fine-tune your life with Emerson.
Historic Fenway Park. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series between the Red Sox and the Oakland A's. For the first time ever in the history of baseball, we had a man who hit 40 home runs, able to swipe 40 bases. That man, Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's. Earlier today, Reggie Jackson talked to the Oakland A's right fielder.
The kind of season that people expect for you to have throughout your 3-year brief career. I think the kind of season you expected yourself to have. How do you feel after having that kind of year?
Well, right now, I'm very extremely excited. I put a goal on myself in spring training this year, and basically, I thought there were more members in the 40-40 club, but what I realized after, there were no members. So at first, I thought maybe I put my foot in my mouth, but then I thought, well, with the ability I've got, with the hard work that I've done during the last 3 years, I think if I stay consistent and I just put the ball in play, basically not get injured, I think my ability would let me become the first 40-40 player, and basically it happened.
Now you have October here. There's no home runs that you've hit. There are no stolen bases anymore. You have 1 week to win the American League pennant with the Oakland Athletics. Are you going to play any differently? Are you going to expect any more out of yourself during this pressure-packed series?
No, I think we're even talking about that in the clubhouse. We're not going to do anything drastically different or change any of the signs and stuff like that. I mean, basically what we're going to do is play like we've been playing the whole year. We've been very successful. We won 104 or 5 games, and basically what we have on this club is a lot of talent, a lot of young talent combined with the veteran leadership and talent, and with that I think we have enough to win the playoffs.
Jose, you've been in the newspapers all year long. The last 10 days you've been all over the media, television, of course, papers again. Tom Boswell, a fellow out of Washington, has made an accusation,
good friend of mine,
an erroneous, so to speak, as you say, about you using steroids. Is he trying to detract from your great season?
I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to take away from the MVP season that I have, or basically he wants to be a more well-known reporter or whatever. He wants to discredit me for the great numbers that I put up this year. But basically, the statements that he's made are false. I mean, some of them don't even make any sense if you ask me. I mean, I've done a lot of hard work during the last 3 seasons. You, of course, know I enjoy weightlifting. I put my hours in the gym day in, day out. I've done a lot of running drills, a lot of running technique, really, that has helped me a lot to steal the 40 base. And basically what I am is a hard worker. So maybe he's trying to discredit me, or maybe he's trying to become a more well-known reporter by hitting on one of the top players. Who knows?
I think the fans appreciate that hard work from you, Jose Canseco, in 1988. Let's go over to another hard worker and visit with Joe Morgan and Mike Greenwell.
Mike, this is only your 2nd year in the major leagues. You're only 25 years old, yet you were one of the catalysts for the Red Sox offensively this year. Do you feel any special pressure to do as well here in the playoffs?
Well, I feel a little pressure. You know, it was a great feeling being able to help the team win this year and help get us here. And a little pressure. I'd like to go out and perform and live up to my expectations and everybody else's in the playoffs, and hopefully help us win some games here. Hopefully it'll happen for me, and I'll have a good series.
Dave Stewart says you're one of the toughest outs in the Boston lineup. Do you think he'll pitch you any differently here than he did during the season?
Well, Dave pitched me tough all year. He keeps the forkball away, his off-speed stuff away, and he tries to come in hard with the hard stuff. He tries to get in on your hands, and he can be very tough. So I'll be looking for some pitches in and the soft stuff away, and hopefully I'll guess right and get a good pitch and drive it somewhere in a hole with some guys on base and drive some runs in for us.
So as Greenwell says, it'll be Dave Stewart, the 20-game winner, going for the Oakland A's. Left-hander Bruce Hurst for Boston. It started to warm up. It's now 47 degrees. We'll be back to talk about the starting pitchers in just a moment.
Extra strength Alka-Seltzer has more of what you take Alka-Seltzer for. More medicine, more bubbles, for fast relief of heartburn with a headache. Try
Extra strength Alka-Seltzer. More of what you take Alka-Seltzer for.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
At Allstate, we understand that the faster it's better, the sooner you're better. Fast, fair claim service. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Acura Legend sedan offers such amenities as leather-trimmed interior, sophisticated stereo system, and ergonomically designed controls. Is it any wonder people enjoy sitting in it? And with its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6, is it any wonder they enjoy standing on it? The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
An ABC News Brief. Now from New York, Richard Threlkeld.
Good afternoon. Vice presidential contenders Dan Quayle and Lloyd Bentsen are in Omaha preparing for tonight's debate. Voters in Chile are waiting in mile-long lines to cast their ballots in the country's first referendum in 15 years of military rule. And President Reagan reportedly expanded the CIA's anti-terrorism powers in 1984 to get around a ban on assassinations. That's News Brief. I'm Richard Threlkeld.
Shocking. A Santa Clara cemetery accused of mixing remains.
The city employee who blew the whistle took pictures to back up his allegations.
An exclusive on Channel 7 News.
The case is under investigation by the district attorney.
Accused Panama drug dealer General Noriega grants an exclusive interview.
Which is a unique one from the ones I've had in the past.
For us in Channel 7 should be complimented for giving so much time to Noriega to speak.
Channel 7 News takes you there.
Channel 10 in Sacramento has provided the first clear and impartial view of California's insurance initiatives. 4 independent insurance rate experts conclude Proposition 100 stands alone as the initiative that cuts good driver rates the most, as much as 37% for the typical family studied. Proposition 100 is the only initiative that rewards good drivers and reduces their rates in every county in the state. That's right, the only one.
Watch out for Megaforce Thursday at 9 on Channel 7.
Well, we're getting ready now for the first pitch. Game number 1, the American League Championship Series. And speaking of pitching, Joe Morgan, Dave Stewart, the ace of Oakland, getting the call.
Well, Dave Stewart has won 20 ball games the last 2 seasons, but he doesn't feel he's received all the credit he deserves for being one of the best pitchers in the American League. Well, today he'll get a chance to earn some more respect, and he'll try to do it with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, a good split-fingered fastball, and his best pitch, a soft fork ball. But his main asset is that he will go right after these Boston Red Sox.
He got in trouble the last few times walking too many batters. Reggie Jackson, Bruce Hurst. Boy, is he tough here in Fenway Park.
You know, unquestionably tough. Gary, you take a look at Bruce Hurst. Here's a fellow with a good fastball, a sinking fastball, good overhand curveball, and then he's got a changeup, and of course he throws a forkball. Here's a fellow who was 13-2 here in 1988 in this ballpark, 26-5 career. And anytime that you get a start in a playoff that's ahead of Roger Clemens, we all know about Roger Clemens, and you've got to be an outstanding pitcher. He's going to pitch 3 times here, and they feel that this guy is going to make the difference in that ball club.
Hurst is 5-1 career-wise against the Oakland A's. Well, the excitement mounting. We're going to be back to begin game number 1, the American League Championship Series. The Oakland A's against the Boston Red Sox. Fenway Park is the site of game 1.
The American League Championship Series is brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. Stroh's is spoken here. By the heartbeat of America, today Chevrolet. By Anco, with a reminder to change your wiper blades. We make things perfectly clear. And by the good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a Stroh Light, relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Look at this.
Look at this. Tramp, my 3 sons.
Right. Yeah. This is my favorite.
Benji. Oh, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing.
Stroh Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
No, here he comes. Here he comes. Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
The legendary Chevy Camaro. Remember all the times you told yourself that someday you'd have one? Welcome to someday.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
A major market recommendation from Merrill Lynch.
Now is a time of extraordinary opportunities. At Merrill Lynch, we believe interest rates will fall dramatically in the year ahead. Any near-term rise in rates, if one should occur, will be modest and short-lived. As a result, bonds and selected interest rate-sensitive stocks can be expected to rise sharply in value. Now is the time to act. We're ready with specific recommendations.
Merrill Lynch, a tradition of trust.
It's a bat, it's a ball, it's a mid, it's a call, it's a sacrifice, but not a line. It's a catch at first base, it's the sun in your face, it's a flamethrower shaking aside. It's a time with your friends, hoping it never ends, cause it's still time after 9. Get up and go for all the action. Get up and go for all the fun. It's Major League satisfaction. Get up and go.
Next season at a ballpark near you.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
A panoramic of Boston and Fenway Park, built in 1912, and what great storied traditions have come out of this magnificent structure. It's almost like a religious shrine to come here to get an opportunity to see baseball. Any baseball fan should have that opportunity. The Commissioner of Baseball, Peter Uberoff, Dennis Swanson, the president of ABC Sports, many dignitaries on hand for football-type weather as they get ready for this American League Championship Series. Let's look now at the lineups for the Oakland Athletics. Carney Lansford, a former Red Sox leadoff, he'll be at third base. Dave Henderson having a career year at center field. Canseco, we've documented what he's done. He'll be batting third. Behind him in the cleanup spot, the first baseman, Mark McGuire. Terry Steinbach, the MVP of the All-Star game, the catcher. And veteran Don Baylor. Boy, he's been here before, hasn't he? He's the DH. Tony Phillips, and this is a change, will be starting to left field to try to play that green monster. Mike Gallego will be the second baseman. And Walter Weiss, strong candidate for American League Rookie of the Year, will be the shortstop.
And the Boston defense takes the field, and Todd Benzinger will be at first base. Marty Barrett will play second base this afternoon. Jody Reed is the shortstop. Batting champion Wade Boggs is at third base. Mike Greenwell will be in left field. Ellis Burks is the center fielder. Dwight Evans will be in right. Rick Gedman will do the catching, and on the mound, left-hander Bruce Hurst.
Hurst is 3-0 in postseason. 5 postseason starts. You might remember in '86 he started 3 games in the World Series. To get an inside look on the left-hander, we're going to call on Milwaukee Brewers' Paul Molitor.
Bruce Hurst is most effective in Fenway Park, especially in the daytime. His pitches have a tendency of getting lost in the center field bleachers, especially his curveball. Now, his best pitch is his screwball, which is basically a turned-over changeup, and he likes to throw that to right-handed hitters. He won't throw it to left-handed hitters, however. Now, he also has an excellent pickoff move to first base, so base runners beware.
Hurst, 18-6, the most wins for a Red Sox left-hander since Bill Lee captured 17 wins in 75. And he's 5-1 lifetime against the A's. The umpires, Don Denkinger will be behind the plate. Ted Henry at first. Tim McClellan at second. Greg Koch will be the third base umpire. Down the left field line will be Ken Kaiser, and the right field line, John Shulock. Well, we mentioned football-type weather here in the Boston area. It's considerably warmer than when we first came out. It's now 47 degrees, and the forecast for light drizzle. It rained throughout most of yesterday. Only the A's were able to have infield and batting practice, as the Red Sox could not get it in and had to warm up in the center field area. Well, Joe Morgan, what's it like to play in Fenway Park?
Well, I think it's a great old ballpark, as you mentioned earlier, but I think one thing we should note here, Paul Molitor talked about the glare that usually comes from center field when Bruce Hurst is pitching, a left-hander coming straight over the top. It's an overcast day, so that glare is not there. I think that works in the Oakland A's favor this afternoon, that Bruce Hurst is really going to be able to not hide the ball from him as well as he normally would.
Carney Lansford will lead things up and fouls it down. Reggie Jackson, as a hitter, that green monster, boy, that's got to be beckoning out there.
It was awfully inviting. You know, the people that it's really inviting are your left-hand hitters. It keeps a left-hander on the baseball longer, and you'll find over the years that left-handers have great success here.
Lansford fouls another one down, and he's behind 0-2.
You take a look at the Freddie Linds of the world. They took advantage of his 315 to left field. They took advantage of the 379 to center field. The 390 in the alley's a little bit tough there. The 420 in the deepest part of the ballpark. And of course, right field almost seems like a disadvantage for a left-hand hitter, but it's a good ballpark for a left-hand hitter. Makes him stay on the ball longer.
Carney Lansford, who of course began his career at the Red Sox, behind 0-2 and called third strike.
Carney Lansford is a free swinger. You normally do not see him take a third strike, but Bruce Hurst makes a perfect pitch. Look at this, right on the outside corner, just above the knees. Perfect pitch.
So Hurst now will face Dave Henderson, yet another Red Sox. Henderson, along with Lansford, played for the Red Sox. Rene Latchman was a former coach here for the Boston Red Sox. So there's quite a Boston-Oakland connection coming into this championship series. One strike.
Dave Henderson says to me before today's games, if you want to get playoff tickets, people start asking me in January because they know I'm going to be there.
Henderson has had a career year. Home runs, RBIs, all career highs. So many things have come together at once for this guy. He became expendable when Ellis Burks moved up from Pawtucket. Looked like he might square around on that one, and the count evens at 1-1.
They talk about all the acquisitions that the Oakland A's made in the offseason. I think this one is probably the most key acquisition they made. He solidified their center field position. Plus, when Dave Parker was injured, this guy picked up the slack in the lineup to help Canseco.
That just misses, and the count goes to 2-1.
You know, I think Dave Henderson, what he brought to this ball club was not at all what they expected, Joe. They were just expecting him to fill in and shore up the outfield defensively, and look at the year he's had offensively, hitting 324 home runs.
Henderson hanging on there. They appeal down to the first base umpire, and the count now goes to 3-1. 3 balls and a strike on Henderson. Of course, everybody remembers how Henderson hit that big home run against the Angels. You remember that well, Reggie.
I sure do.
And that'll make it into left field for a base hit. So 1 down and 1 on, and that will bring up Jose Canseco.
The one thing that Bruce Hurst has to do is throw strikes and stay in front of these hitters. You cannot pitch from behind against the Oakland A's and be successful.
Well, this guy coming up to the plate just creates an air of excitement, doesn't he? Look at those numbers. Home runs, RBIs, leading the majors. He was 10th in batting in the league at 307. became a very accomplished outfielder while he was producing all of those numbers. Pitch misses, and the count goes 1 ball.
I think you could take anybody with this kind of size, this kind of awesome power, and he puts up these kind of numbers, Gary. People expect to see these kind of things from a big guy, and then all of a sudden when he does it, it really turns the public on.
Canseco pops it up, first base side. Going over is Todd Benzinger. There'll be no play.
No, he kind of does what everyone dreams of as a baseball player when they're young. Gee, I want to be a big home run hitter, and I want to hit 500-foot home runs, and I want to swing hard. This guy swings hard every pitch, and he hits 500-foot home runs almost every time he hits the ball out of the ballpark.
The guy really, and it's an old cliche, but he has muscles on his muscles. I've never seen a guy that's built like him.
He's a very dedicated athlete.
Anderson off first with 1 down. Right field, Burks hustling over. And now to make the catch will be the White Evans. 2 away.
There you see the reason why Bruce Hurst is so effective here in Fenway Park. He can come inside on the right-handed hitters. It keeps them from leaning out over the plate, trying to jerk the ball off the wall. He comes inside, keeps you honest, and then he can go back away. A perfect pitch for him to Jose Canseco.
Well, it doesn't get much easier. Mark McGwire, who put some good numbers together himself, 32 home runs and 99 RBIs. Following on the heels of that Rookie of the Year campaign when he hit 49. Now Hurst has a beautiful move to first, maybe as good as anybody in the league.
I can be a witness of that because I've been picked off by that move. He's got a great move, and that's one of the things that the Oakland A's need to be careful of. He can shut down that running game.
McGwire out ahead on that one, 1 strike. That's one reason that Tony La Russa decided to go with Tony Phillips in left. He felt that they would negate any of the running ability, maybe of a Javier or a Polonia on the base pass. 1 strike on McGwire. And again, he can't seem to make the timing the way he wants it. It's 0-2.
He's throwing him 2 good changeups over the outside part of the plate. And he throws a couple of different types of changeups. One, he just turns the fastball over, which acts like a changeup. And the other, he just takes something off of the fastball, the straight fastball.
Hurst has 3 quality pitches. He can really set you up. 0-2 to McGwire, and he looked, almost caught the outside corner. In fact, Denkinger, I think, for a moment was going to call a 3rd strike.
I think that Denkinger was the guy that was caught. Take a look at this pitch. Bruce Hurst said he's on his game when he's hitting the mitt. That's just a little bit outside. It almost looked like the umpire's ready to call strike 3, Joe.
Well, he raised up like he was going to call strike 3. He was going with the right hand, changed his mind.
Well, the body was willing, but the mind never allowed it to happen as he moved to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, a runner at first. There's the move to first.
One thing we might note here, Gary, is that the umpires are going to take an inning or so to settle in as well. This is a big game not only for the players, but for the umpires as well.
Yeah, but don't do that when I'm hitting.
McGwire gets a piece of it and stays alive. You just get the feeling Mark right now is a little hamstrung. He's on that front foot trying to time what Hurst is doing. On deck now is Terry Steinbach, the MVP of the All-Star game.
Hurst has stayed away from McGwire. Now he'll probably come in, and he tries to, and he doesn't get it in far enough. He'll stay out on the outside corner, get McGwire leaning out there, and then he'll bust him inside hard as he tried to do there.
Not an overpowering pitcher. He tries to keep the hitters off balance, and he was talking to me yesterday. He said, Reggie, I want to keep a guy like McGwire, I want to keep a guy like Canseco off balance. I don't want that barrel of the bat in the strike zone all the time.
He's done that to McGwire as he fouls this one down the 3rd base line. Jimmy Lefevre, the 3rd base coach. One thing about Hurst that's surprising, you talk about he's not one of those guys that just rears back and throws hard all the time. He's 6'3", 214 pounds. He's a big man. 3rd straight fastball to McGwire, who's been able to stay alive now. Well, Henderson still down at first with 2 down.
This at bat should help McGwire because he's seen Bruce Hurst's entire repertoire of pitches.
Boy, that didn't look very good, though, did it? Right back to Hurst, and he's out of the inning. So there's no runs on 1 hit and 1 left. We're going to go to the bottom half of the 1st inning. As the A's do not score, the Red Sox coming to bat.
Introducing the perfect tire for everyone. It does everything for every driver.
Is it safe in the rain?
Well, it's, you know. Can it handle at high speeds? You mean fast?
Carry heavy loads?
How heavy?
Can I afford it?
There's no one perfect tire for everyone. So Goodyear makes different tires for every driver, car, and condition on the American road, including the perfect tire for you.
Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Ready, Alex?
Rin Tin Tin.
Right.
Hey, look at this. Benji. Stro Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. Who's that?
Beats me.
This is not the time to learn that all antifreezes aren't the same. What's in your radiator?
What do we do now?
Fenway Park, home of the American League East Division champions, the Boston Red Sox. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Red Sox. The batting champion, Wade Boggs, leading off at third. Marty Barrett will be the second baseman. Dewey Evans will be batting third in right field. Mike Greenwell batting cleanup. Todd Benzinger will be at first base. Ellis Burks in center field. Jim Rice will be the designated hitter. Jody Reed at shortstop, and Rich Gedman behind the plate.
And the A's defensively will have Mark McGuire at first base. Mike Gallego starts at second. Walter Weiss is the shortstop. Carney Lansford's at third. Tony Phillips starts in left field. Dave Henderson is the center fielder. Jose Canseco is in right. Terry Steinbach is behind the plate, and Dave Stewart is on the mound.
For a closer look at this right-hander who is 21-12, again, let's call on Paul Molitor.
Dave Stewart isn't just a great pitcher, he's a great athlete. And when he's out there on that mound, he shows a tremendous amount of stamina. As the game goes on, he has that ability to get stronger. Now, if he gets a lead from his ball club, he's one of the best in baseball as far as holding that lead. Now, the one problem he might have with the Red Sox lineup is that they're a very disciplined team. If they can lay off that high fastball, as well as that low fork ball, Stewart might have to come in with some better pitches for that club to hit. And with that green monster in left field, it could be some trouble for Stewart out there in Fenway Park.
So Stewart starts out Wade Boggs with a strike. Misses inside. Stewart started out this year 8-0, then finished 21-12, second straight 20-win season, and Boggs with that average second highest in his career. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Me watching Dave Stewart and playing with him last year and watching him all year this year, he has trouble early in the ball game. If he can get settled down early in this game, then he'll be set for a good one.
That just missed 2-2. Boggs, little half swing, and that's a rocket into that third base side. Boggs hitting .366, as we mentioned, his second highest average. He hit .368 in 1985. Fourth straight batting title. Grounded down, and I think they may have hit Steinbach in the face mask. 2-2.
Most of Dave Stewart's problems with the Red Sox this year have started with Wade Boggs. He has walked him about 8 to 10 times during the season.
He just slaps that one to center field, hustling over, and coming up with it will be Dave Henderson, and Boggs leads things off with a base hit. Marty Barrett will come up. What really makes the Red Sox tough in the first of the order is Boggs and Barrett. They just don't strike out. They always make contact.
Guess you can almost say what's new. Here's a great swing. Look at him go down for that low pitch. The ball's out over the middle of the plate. It's a line drive right back up the middle. Classic Wade Boggs.
It was a good pitch by Dave Stewart.
Yes, it was. The ball was down.
Good piece of hitting.
Been a lot of good pitches, though, that Boggs has put into play, right? Barrett, as we mentioned, very tough to strike out. Only 35 strikeouts this year, and a fastball misses inside. Barrett is one of those guys that you talk about being a playing manager. He just refuses to lose, does so many little intangibles for this team.
He's an ideal guy to hit behind Wade Boggs because he will shoot the ball the other way and stay out of the double play.
Boggs being held on by McGuire at first. This is inside again, and it's 2-0. So this is what Stewart didn't want to do, was start missing the plate, getting behind. He'd walked too many batters. In fact, he walked 24 batters in the 26 innings that he pitched against the Red Sox this year. (2-0) to Barrett, and he got this one over. 2-1. Dwight Evans due up next. Stewart's had a lot of trouble this year with the box. However, he's settled down since May. Boggs is not really that big a threat to go. He's stolen only 2 bases this year. And the Red Sox are last in stolen bases.
And they're going to call a timeout because the sun came out momentarily, and Tony Phillips in left field wants to get his sunglasses. In fact, he's going to run in and get them because the sun came out. That was a cheer you heard from the crowd.
Let me ask you something about Tony Phillips. This has got to be an anxious moment for Tony. He's played everywhere for this ball club. Getting the call in left field, there was some talk they'd go with Parker to get more offense. Maybe a little better defensive play from Javier, but Phillips is out there, and it's not easy playing that Green Monster.
Well, Tony La Russa doesn't feel that they're going to be able to run that much with Bruce Hurst, and Tony Phillips has had a good career batting average, especially right-handed against Bruce Hurst. Consequently, that's why he's in the ballgame.
And he's also a good outfielder. He gets a very good jump on the ball, and Tony is, with infielder instincts, he plays the outfield very well.
That's a good point. And talking to Jim Lefebvre, he says he has a strong arm for the infield and an accurate arm for the outfield.
Now, they always felt that if they could get him to adjust to be a utility player and not play every day where he has had some problems, he'd make an outstanding utility player.
Stewart delivers, and it's popped up short left field, so Phillips, who went in for those sunglasses, now will let Walt Weiss make the catch, and there's one away. So the pop up to the shortstop, and that's going to bring up Dewey Evans, Dwight Evans.
Dwight Evans.
Evans just continues to be amazing.
Right fielder.
8 straight years now, this 36-year-old veteran has hit 20 or more home runs.
And he's the only active player to have done that in the last 8 years.
He'll be 37 on November 3rd. The beginning of the year, Joe, he was the first baseman, and then they eventually moved him to right when Benzinger started to come around, and seemingly that was the final move that got this team together.
He's very confident in right field. He's still one of the best right fielders in baseball.
Evans fouled down. Reggie, as you know, there's a lot of room in that right field area.
Yes,
You've got to be tough out there.
And one thing it also does is it relaxes him. It's tougher to hit and play the infield than it is to play the outfield. You can relax more, and that's what Dewey Evans has done.
I take offense to that.
But you know it's true.
Truth always hurts, doesn't it? There's the magic one, Joe Morgan, the most famous ex-snowplow driver in the history of Massachusetts. The Wizard of Walpole, Massachusetts. He's been called a lot of things, but whatever it is, he did the right things. 2 strikes now on Evans, 1 down and a runner on. That'll go out of play. I remember Evans one time in that 75 World Series against you, Joe. He made a great catch in right field.
Yeah, I tried to forget that, but it always seems to pop up when I walk into this ballpark.
Game 6. 0-2 now to Dewey, and it gets through Steinbach, and Boggs will go down to second.
Fastball.
Take a look at this pitch right here. Again, as I had stated earlier, if Dave Stewart can stay out of trouble, there is a pitch there. Looked just like a fastball that got away from him. Terry Steinbach did not get in front of that pitch and block it.
That was a catcher's mistake. He should have been able to keep that ball in front of him.
So Boggs now in scoring position on the pass ball. Evans at the plate. And he got a piece of it, but hanging on is Steinbach. So there's 2 down. Big strikeout for Stewart. And that's going to bring up Mike Greenwell.
39.
A strikeout there on a forkball. That was an outstanding pitch. I'm sure that the Red Sox, in scouting Dave Stewart, know that Dave Stewart has problems early in his ball games, especially during some big ball games, and they're going to try to be patient. They're going to try to outweight him and see if he does have some trouble getting rolling.
Here's the guy that many people think will finish second in the MVP balloting to Jose Canseco. Greenwell fouls that off the mitt of Steinbach. Greenwell, one of the best young hitters in most people's estimation to come along in the last 10 years. He led the Red Sox in home runs, RBIs, and a major league record 23 game-winning RBIs. 1 strike on Greenwell.
Reggie, to take your point a little further about Dave Stewart having problems earlier in the ballgame, the other good thing that the Red Sox have going for them is that they are a disciplined group of hitters. They're aggressive, but they're disciplined. I think the Oakland A's are just an aggressive bunch of hitters.
Greenwell watches that one go outside, and it's 2-1.
The Red Sox are not afraid to take a base on balls, as you did say, Joe. Wade Boggs had 125 of them, and Mike Greenwell had 87.
And they led the league in base on balls.
And also a few strikeouts.
So they are a disciplined group of hitters.
Foul down the first base line.
I think we can give some credit to Walt Hriniak. You watch some of these players, he is a student of the Charlie Lau theory of letting the bat go and finishing, following through with one hand so that you stay in the strike zone a little bit longer with the bat. And you see a lot of these players have made themselves follow the Charlie Lau theory.
That's that old helicopter swing. Line foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Boggs down at second base. On deck is Benzinger. You can see the clouds. It's been very, very cold and damp. They tell me, and we started this championship series last week, it would have been perfect weather. What a difference a week makes. 2-2, and he got a piece of that, and that got a piece of Steinbach. He's going to shake it off.
Well, with 2 strikes, Greenwell stays in the strike zone, as Reggie says. He tries to wait a little longer. And I think what you'll see here, he picks up his leg. Now, look, he's got his weight back. It's all on his backside. Now it keeps it back pretty well on this pitch. And he's just a little late on it, but you can see where his head is. He stays right on the ball.
Still 2-2 on Greenwell. Right field. Canseco's right in the right spot, and that'll end it. So here in the bottom of the first inning, no runs on 1 hit. 1 base runner left on after 1. No score in Fenway.
Hello. Business has sure picked up here at Lucky's Castaway Club since he started serving our new Bartles & James Premium Tropical Cooler. Ed selected 5 natural fruit flavors to give it a lively tropical taste. Lucky's has become the in-place for trendy singles. Ed heard you could get hit on down here, but we haven't seen any fights, and everyone sure seems to like our new Bartles & James Tropical Cooler. Thanks for your support.
Choose to make a difference.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
Every time you reach for MasterCard from now through December, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes, and you can help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
There's only one place for that original taste. Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
One look and you'll know why the critics rave.
She was so close, I wanted to grab her, take her in my arms, feel her 72-pound body next to mine.
One look and you'll know why it won the Emmy.
In junior high school, who you are is defined less by who you are than by who's the person sitting next to you. A sobering thought.
You guys mind if I sit with you? Sure, Winnie.
Now you can look at the Wonder Years when it returns for a special hour, Wednesday, October 26th.
Fenway Park, Gary Bender along with two future Hall of Famers, Joe Morgan and Reggie Jackson. And there is Joe Morgan and Joe Morgan. What's my line? Will the real Joe Morgan please stand up? Terry Steinbach leading things off. He'll be followed by Don Baylor and Tony Phillips. In the top of the second, no score. Here's a guy who just seemed to get it all together after being voted the most valuable player in the All-Star game. Count evens at 1-1.
You know, he had a tough start this year. He got hit in the face very early in the season, I think in spring training almost, or right as the season started, and got off to a rough start.
1-1 on Steinbach.
Then after the All-Star game, the home run, I think, must have given him confidence. He's hit over 300 the second half. He's really ended up well.
There was a big controversy about the ballot stuffing, that he shouldn't be the starting catcher, and all he did was win the MVP honors with a home run and an RBI sacrifice fly that scored both of the runs for the American League. 3-1 now on Steinbach.
And one of the things I said earlier is that Bruce Hurst cannot pitch from behind against the Oakland A's and be successful.
Not too many guys can, for that matter, right, Joe?
True.
And he's on. Steinbach, the first walk of the ball game. The leadoff man is at first, and here comes a guy who's been in a few championship series in his life, Don Baylor.
12. Don Baylor.
He's kind of the talisman factor, the rabbit's foot, if you will. He's played on the last two American League championships, and he'd like to make it 3 in a row. What a presence this guy has on a ball club.
At 6'2", 225, it's easy to have presence.
Nobody out. Steinbach at first, and Hurst continues to struggle right now. 1-0 to Don Baylor. Thing about Baylor, he didn't play all that much. He only had 54 hits, but 34 of them produced RBIs. One 1-0 on Baylor. And he misses again. 2-0.
I said earlier the A's were an aggressive group of hitters. Now they're showing good patience at the plate and letting Bruce Hurst pitches go by that are out of the strike zone.
There's the move to first.
In the meetings they had talked, Jimmy Lefevre, the hitting instructor of the Oakland A's, had talked to his hitters about being patient against Bruce Hurst, because he's going to try to get you to swing at bad balls.
And he now has thrown 7 straight balls. He's behind 3-0.
He had talked to me yesterday about if he's on his game, all he's going to do is look at the catcher's mitt and hit that catcher's mitt and just worry about his mechanics and not think about the hitter right now. He is off his game right now.
3-0. He gets it over. 3-1. You know, we talked earlier about how effective Hurst is, and Joe, you mentioned the fact that with the sun not shining today, it's taken some of that effectiveness away, but you still got to throw strikes.
Yes.
3-1. Baylor swings through it, and it's full now.
There is one of the reasons that Bruce Hurst is so effective. He did not give in to Don Baylor there on the 3-1 pitch. He turned the ball over away, and Baylor couldn't do anything with it.
Steinbach still down at first. The leadoff man on by the walk.
The question here is, will LaRusso put Steinbach in motion?
Foul back, so he stays at 3-2.
That shows a lot of respect for Bruce Hurst's move. He does not want to take a chance with Steinbach at first base.
Well, you have a good double play man at the plate right now here. Right-hand hitter, does not run that well, hits the ball hard, and you have a slow run at first base. So this is really a perfect double play situation.
3-2 to Baylor, and he got him on the inside corner. Boy, that's coming back, isn't it? After going behind 3-0, Baylor called out on strike.
The 2 strikes before were away, away, away. And you see the catcher's actually set up away, but he comes inside, and that really fools Don Baylor. That is a strike on the inside corner.
So one down now as Baylor retreats to the dugout, and Tony Phillips coming up. Phillips hitting .203 for the year. And again he drops behind, but Phillips hits much better against Hurst than he did for the season, hitting .240 against him.
Well, Tony was also on the disabled list for quite a period of time. He's a much better hitter than that. He puts the ball in play. If he has one fault, he swings too hard and he hits a few balls in the air.
1-1.
Nothing wrong with hitting balls in the air.
Well, it's okay if you're Reggie Jackson or Jose Canseco.
It's just where they come down, right?
You're a little small second baseman. You have to keep it out of the air.
I notice you emphasize the small, Joe. 1-1 now, and Phillips a little late, sends that one into the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You talked about Phillips. He was out an awful lot this year. He went on the DL on May 18th. Missed 49 games before he came back. He had a bruised lower leg. He can play everywhere except maybe catch and pitch, and I'm not sure he couldn't catch. Steinbach still down at first. 1 down. Foul down. Steinbach, if you're wondering about him being a base stealer, he swiped 3. However, he was very successful. He only attempted 3.
That was that good overhand curveball right there by Bruce Hurst. And again, the opponent, Oakland, knows that you have a good pitcher on the mound in Bruce Hurst. He's struggling right now. I know when I was in playoff games and I knew they had a great pitcher on the mound like a Bruce Hurst, I wanted to get him early because once they settle down, they're tough.
Phillips staying alive with that one. Tony played 20 games in the outfield this year for the A's. And now that Glenn Hubbard is not on the active list, he'll also be backing up Mike Gallego at second base. Oh, he swings through that one and sends the bat into the third base side, and he's out of there, and I guess everybody's okay to our left down here.
I'm not so sure about that.
Boy, that scares you, doesn't it?
I think they just want to get on TV. Those guys are waving it now.
So 2 strikeouts in the inning now, and the 3rd K of the game for Bruce Hurst. They're fighting over the bat now. So Phillips.
That usually happens when a guy is fooled on a pitch, and that's just an off-speed pitch that just fooled Tony Phillips, and he just let the bat go.
Here's Gallego at the plate, so Phillips will sit down, and with 2 down, Steinbach still down at first base.
It's funny, you see a lot of good hitters do that. I remember Tony Oliva did it all the time, and so does Dave Winfield.
Gallego's staying at that second base spot now because Hubbard was having hamstring problems. He couldn't play. He fouls it back. He and Glenn Hubbard shared second base and have done such a good job.
This guy is loved on this team. He has great range. He loves to play. He wants to play every day. And there's just something about him. He just provides a spark or a spirit to the team where the team really rallies around him.
Kind of a pesky hitter, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Surprisingly, only 2 home runs and 20 RBIs, but they're all important ones.
Foul back. There's Hubbard. I know he was very disappointed that he wasn't going to be able to play. He really gave the A's a spark when they needed it this year. Not only in the field, but at the plate.
Well, he was also the catalyst, as you mentioned, down the stretch when they played so well. And Tony La Russa said, this guy is going to be that everyday player for me. But with the hamstring problem that he is having, it's better to put a Mike Gallego in there because you don't lose anything.
Pitch to Mike. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count evens at 2-2. Tell you, Tony La Russa this year has been a sheer genius in moving people around, playing them at the right time, and he hopes that that will work with Tony Phillips today. Popped up. Reed coming in, Boggs coming in. Boggs will wave him away. He takes it for the 3rd out. So after the leadoff man reached by the base on balls, Hurst settles down and gets out of it. Out of the 2nd, no score.
Some car warranties give you protection on your powertrain beyond the first year, which is fine if you are only buying a powertrain. But GM is the only American manufacturer to protect the powertrain and the thousands of other parts that go into all our 89 cars and light trucks. Everything. For 3 years or 50,000 miles. It covers parts, labor, and towing. The GM Bumper to Bumper Plus warranty. Longer protection for more of your car or truck.
You know, doing the right thing isn't always a matter of what you do. It's sometimes what you don't do. Now, when you eat Quaker Oats for breakfast, what you don't do is fill up on bacon and eggs. So you don't get too much cholesterol or fat. Now, the doctors are saying that if you'll eat sensible, that's low fat, low cholesterol, that oatmeal can even help bring your cholesterol down. Hear what I said? Quaker Oats. It's the right thing to do.
Sorry, Alex. You know the rules, buddy. Let me have a Stroh's, Pat. About my monthly tab. Seems really high.
No, that's right.
Looks high to me.
Maybe you shouldn't let your buddy use it.
My buddy.
Brown hair, wears it long.
Is he short?
Yeah, talks funny, too.
Wolf?
Says that a lot.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
It's the peanuts right out of the bowl, too.
Tonight, Mike sharpens his study skills.
If you guys don't have any faith in me, don't beat around the bush, just say it.
We have no faith in you.
Growing pains.
A television classic is back. On Sunday, October 23rd, Peter Graves returns to lead the top-secret Impossible Missions Force. The all-new Mission Impossible.
We go to the bottom of the second inning. Todd Benzinger, Ellis Burks, and Jim Rice to face Dave Stewart, who gave up a base hit in the first inning, and this one fouled to our left. Benzinger moved to first base on June 24th, and that's when Dwight Evans went to right field. Then Joe Morgan made the final move when he inserted Jody Reed as his everyday shortstop. Grounded foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Benzinger, the reason he didn't get into the regular lineup was he had a severe groin injury. I remember coming back here in June, Joe, we were doing a ball game, and some concern about how serious that injury was at the time. 0-2 to Benzinger. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's 70 RBIs and only 405 at bats and 13 home runs. This guy has a chance to hit 20 home runs and drive in almost 100.
Left field line, and that one's going to be out of play. Well, they talk about a guy that has a classic swing, and this is one of those people. Benzinger. Tell you, he hasn't had a classic swing against Stewart, has he? 1-2 on Todd, and he swings through it. Leadoff man is erased. That's the second strikeout of the ball game. The Goodyear Blimp America. Pilot Mark Kinnett and Bill Sullivan operating the camera high above Fenway Park. I tell you, earlier today we may not have been able to see him. It was so cloudy up there. Starting to lighten up a little bit. Ellis Burks, center fielder for the Red Sox, with 1 down. Strike call. Stewart told me he thought Burks was the most underrated player on the Boston team.
Unlike any of the other starts against Boston here in Fenway Park, Dave Stewart is throwing strikes. He's getting out in front of the hitters.
Back it comes to Stewart, and very quickly there's 2 away. And tonight, following the vice presidential debate, the New York Mets take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Action begins live at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight on ABC Sports. Al Michaels, Tim McCarver, and Jim Palmer. Boy, it looked like the Dodgers had things going their way until the 9th inning.
It's like 60 minutes of a football game. You play 9 innings.
Gary Carter eventually driving in the winning run. What a collision at home between Socha and Kevin McReynolds. Jim Rice at the plate, and the count now goes 1-1. Here is a guy you wonder, Reggie, when you talk about a Mr. October, a guy who might lift his game under pressure in big situations. He might be a guy that would have that kind of series. Inside, 2-1.
There is no question about that. This guy has had an absolutely fantastically productive career. He hit over 300 several times, and a couple years in a row there.
Half notion on that one, 2-2.
A couple years in a row there, he hit between 315 and 330 and 40 or more home runs and over 120 RBIs 3 years in a row, and 200 base hits.
Rice got off to a very slow start this year. Foul back. He was without a home run through May. In fact, he had had 207 at bats. Looks like Denkinger may have caught that one on the mask.
Coming right at you. Ooh, that had to hurt.
Ooh, man, does that ever. There's a ball to right field, dropping in for a base hit, and Rice will make the turn. Second hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. 2 down, and Jody Reed will come up.
This has been one of the complaints against Jim Rice, but there's nothing wrong with success. They say he goes to right field too much. I think they also say that his bat may be slowing down, but there are base hits out there.
Only 2,404. That's not bad. He's hit them everywhere. Wall to wall, alley to alley. 2 down now. Rice at first. Reed up. Stewart coming inside.
That'll get your attention.
Yes, it will. Jody Reed, as I mentioned, the final piece to the puzzle. When Joe Morgan took over, he inserted Reed in the shortstop position and place of Spike Owen.
I think the interesting part of that story is that Joe Morgan went to him and told him all he wanted him to do was play good shortstop and hit around 270. Jody Reed told him, I can hit 300 if you give me the opportunity. And he almost did.
That's right. He had 293, 7 percentage points off of that. Kind of gives his team some pizzazz, doesn't he? That goes now to 3-0. 3-0 on Jody Reed with Rice at first and 2 down. We're in the bottom of the second inning. No score. Game number 1 in the American League Championship Series. Got it over 3-1. Pitch, and he walked it. So now runners at first and second with 2 down, and Rich Gedman comes up.
Now, I'm also sure that Dave Stewart wants to get out of these first couple innings as well, Gary. And Joe, he knows he has problems early in the ball game, and he wants to get it over with himself.
Well, I think probably his problem sometimes in the early innings is he doesn't concentrate quite as well as he does later in the ball game. Maybe he's a little too hyped up to start the ball game.
Gedman coming up through the year had 9 home runs and 39 RBIs. Red Sox catcher with 2 on and 2 out. Hopping behind Gedman 1-0. Gedman just a new father a week ago Monday. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That ball looked like it could have been a little bit high.
That's an American League strike. That's a high fastball.
I think that's I think that's an NBA strike. I think Dave Stewart is very aware that the guy on deck is Mr. Boggs.
That's right. Boggs standing on deck. He does want to go that far. Rice down at second, Reed at first. Rice on by base hit. Reed walked. Swing, and the count goes to 1-2.
And you see Dave Stewart moving his fastball. The first strike was away. That was a fastball off the plate inside. Good pitching by Dave Stewart. Now I think you'll see this forkball and try to finish him off.
knocks it down. The throw to second. He's safe at second. The bases are loaded.
A well-hit ball there by Rich Getman, and a great play by Walt Weiss, but just hit too deep in the hole and hit too well. And let's give some credit to that runner on first base getting down there to second base.
Weiss has made all the plays, but that one was just too tough to make.
It's a high fastball, and he slashes it the other way. You see Weiss make an all-out dive to come up with it. Gets rid of the ball very quickly, but Jody Reed, being a quick runner from first base, got down to second base in time.
And here is Mr. Boggs at the plate. All strike. So the bases are loaded with 2 down in the bottom of the second. Rice at third. Reed at second. Gedman reaching on the fielder's choice at first. Foul back, and he's ahead of Boggs 0-2.
One of the best hitter-batter confrontations I saw this year was Wade Boggs against Dave Stewart in the ball game that he shut the Red Sox out 1-0 in Oakland. It was a very similar situation. The go-ahead run was at second base, and he pitched Boggs perfectly and finally got him out.
Boggs with a base hit the first time, and that one was upstairs. And that gets a reaction from this crowd, and the count goes to 1-2.
And when I say he finally got him out, Boggs fought off several pitches after 2 strikes, fouled him down the right field line, just fouled down the left field line, and Dave Stewart was able to finally pop him up.
1-2 to Boggs. Foul down. This is what Boggs is so tough. I mean, you try to get that third strike by him, and he'll just keep fouling it off until he gets what he wants.
There you saw what makes him a 360 hitter. He was completely overmatched with that fastball. I think he was looking for something else, but he was able to keep the bat level long enough just to get a piece of it.
And the piece keeps the count at 1-2. Again, straight back.
But again, you see his head stays right there, and he swings basically with his hands and arms. That was a good fork ball from Dave Stewart. He didn't quite get it as low as he would want, but Wade Boggs stayed right on it.
1-2 pitch. He got it by him. He struck him out. What a jam to get out of. The bases loaded, and he strikes out the American League batting champion. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local station.
The season premieres are here, and Perfect Strangers just hit it big.
I think if you just check the numbers on our lottery ticket, you'll find that we're the lottery's newest millionaires.
Friday night's full of surprises.
Wow, you guys got eccentric fast.
And it's all new fun on Full House.
Yes, yes!
After the premiere of Perfect Strangers, Friday, October 14th.
Bank of America just introduced an account that's supposed to be new and all-in-one. But there's already an account like that, one that does more. This account keeps track of more of your money and pays you higher interest and makes it easier for you to avoid monthly service charges. The account that rolls this much into one easy package is CitiOne from Citicorp Savings. The big idea in easy banking.
Santa Monica is a pretty wonderful place with its beautiful parks, its boardwalk, its beaches. And if Santa Monica activist Harvey Rosenfield gets his way, Santa Monica will be all that much nicer. Harvey's written Prop 103, which will lower rates in Santa Monica, but raises rates for 12 million drivers outside of L.A. See how it works? We pay more, so Santa Monica and L.A. can pay less. Vote no on Prop 103. Why should we pay more, so L.A. can pay less?
I played a little football at Holy Cross, 6'4", 215. Very intimidating. Perfect for a linebacker. Not so good for a pediatrician. Kids are a little afraid of doctors to begin with. So for the past 15 years, the first thing I always do is sit down and kind of whisper.
As a member of Kaiser Permanente, you can have a personal physician, one like Dr. John Walsh. Kaiser Permanente, good people, good medicine.
The making of Channel 7 News, Thursday after the game.
Walt Weiss getting ready, but let's go back on that backhand stab that became a big play.
No, this is why they got Walt Weiss in the major leagues this year. They traded Alfredo Griffin to get Bobby Welsh. Look at that great play. Tony La Russa and Sandy Alderson only wanted him to hit 220. He's hit 250.
He's made all the plays. Reggie, you know he committed only one error after July 8th.
He's fielded flawlessly. The fans in Oakland gave him a standing ovation after that error, and he didn't know what to do. He said, well, I can't tip my hat after I made an error.
He had 58 games straight without committing an error. Had 15 errors for the year. 1 ball, 1 strike on the leadoff man here in the top of the 3rd, and that misses outside. 2-1.
Earlier this year in Baltimore, he hit a home run, and they gave him the ball back for his first major league home run, and they said, how'd you get it back? He said, well, a guy asked me for Jose Canseco's autograph.
That may drop in, hustling it. No, Evans is there. Dwight Evans makes the first out here in the top of the 3rd, sending Weiss to the dugout, and here comes to the top of the order, Carney Lansford. Lansford called out on strikes back in the 1st.
Gary, one point we should make here, we're talking about Bruce Hurst. Bruce Hurst has above average fastball. It's not like he really has to spot this fastball. He has a good fastball, but he locates it very well, and that's what makes him effective.
Lansford looks at that one outside. 1-0. Well, you look at what Hurst has done. 13-2 this year in Fenway Park. To short. Reed comes up. There's 2 outs. I think the thing you also have to realize about this series, Oakland won 9 of 12 and won all 6 of them in the Oakland Coliseum, but they only faced Hurst and Clemens 1 time.
And one of those ball games I mentioned earlier, Dave Stewart beat Roger Clemens 1-0.
Henderson, who singled back in the 1st, is up. This guy certainly shored up an uncertain outfield, especially that center field position. Big swing. You look at Henderson, he's figured in so many transactions back and forth from Seattle to Boston to the Giants and now in Oakland. You might remember that was kind of the final piece in '86 when they acquired he and Spike Owen to make it to the World Series.
Is that called being in the right place at the right time as we take a look at Dave Stewart?
Strike 2, 1-2 on Henderson. 2 down. We're in the top of the 3rd. No score. The Red Sox leading the bases jammed in the bottom of the 2nd. And that'll take care of the A's. Henderson going down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout of the ball game for Bruce Hurst.
Gee, Ollie, this windshield's so messy, I can't see. We need new wiper blades.
I know that. Make sure your windshield wipers work when you need them. Get a new set of Anco blades at least once a year and see what you've been missing.
Ollie, without new Anco wipers, we could have been hit by that piano. Oh. Piano? No!
McDonald's presents future Olympic hopefuls, Carlos Tapia Ruano and his innovative soccer style. Uda Grunewald, whose backstroke could stun the world. The powerful Nozowitzki, weightlifting. Kelly Peterson, equestrian events. Bob Watson, rings. And Jacques Bouclet, a natural for discus. McDonald's is proud to sponsor today's U.S. Olympic team and to keep the dream alive for tomorrow's hopefuls.
Blazing a trail through Logan Pass, Montana, and the great taste of old Milwaukee beer.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place and old Milwaukee beer.
It just doesn't get any better than this.
Now, a revolution in blade shaving from Remington, the new Remington Electro Blade, with vibrating blades for a close, smooth, comfortable shave. Safe, immersible, and cordless. The new Remington Electro Blade vibrating blade system.
The Ohio State Buckeyes tackle Big Ten rival undefeated Indiana. Or a Pac-10 showdown as Washington meets Arizona State. Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Patrick Swayze and Kirstie Alley star in John Jake's epic of the American Experience. North and South, coming Tuesday, October 18th.
Game one, the American League Championship Series. Bottom of the third, Marty Barrett, Dwight Evans, and Mike Greenwell for the Red Sox against Dave Stewart, who starts him out with a strike. They always talk about pressure. I imagine there's just a little more pressure in American League Championship Series as opposed to the regular season. Adrenaline starts to flow, huh?
Gary, anyone that thinks that the playoffs are the same as the regular season has really never won a playoff. You go into the playoffs, you have to realize this is a different part of the season. You have to have your intensity level a little higher.
Barrett, who popped up the first time, swings and makes it 1-2.
You know, I've always had the feeling, just like you, Joe, that anytime a player said to me, I'm just going to play this like any other day or another game, I always felt I had an edge with him, and I was happy he said that, because under my breath I was saying, I'm going to beat you, partner.
Exactly.
Somebody told me, though, once you get to the World Series, you don't feel as much pressure as a championship series. Fouled away.
Well, I think the playoffs created that illusion. And the fact that it's so tough to get to the World Series, you're fighting so hard here in the playoffs, that once you get to the World Series, you can relax. I never felt that way. I felt like each and every game I played in postseason was special, and I may not get another opportunity, and I wanted to take advantage of that.
1-2 on Barrett, and that bounces up to the plate, and the count evens at 2-2.
And I'll say I can co-sign that, Joe. I firmly believe that. If you've ever been in a World Series and lost, then people just don't say very much about you. In 1981, we lost to the Dodgers. It was my first experience in losing a World Series, and George Steinbrenner broke the ball club up. It just didn't work when you lose.
As they say, no one remembers who finishes second.
That's right.
2-2 to Barrett. Right field, Canseco. One out. To get an insight on Dave Stewart, Dwight Evans had this.
Well, Dave Stewart still throws the ball extremely hard. He used to be a fastball, curveball pitcher. Now he's gone to his fastball, forkball, and an occasional slider. I'm going to try to make him get the ball up and try to make him get his fastball down, because when he throws that fastball, that hard fastball, up in the strike zone, it'll take off on you. I'm going to make him throw strikes.
Well, he struck out the first time, had a notion there. Did he go around? No, he didn't.
No, for me, in 1986, my last year with the Angels, went into Oakland and saw Eric Plunk, Jose Rijo, and Dave Stewart. They all threw above 94 miles an hour, and for me, Dave Stewart threw the hardest.
That's impressive. They talk about Plunk as being one of the outstanding relievers in the years ahead. Plunk looks like he'd scare you to death out there. Does he see well with those glasses? 1-1 to Evans, and now goes to 1-2.
And there you see one of the very few curveballs Dave Stewart has thrown in this ball game. He's basically gone with the fastball and the forkball so far, but he threw Dwight Evans a good curveball there.
From the Goodyear blimp, we see this shot, and the count now goes to 2-2. We talked about Evans moving to right field. Another thing that changed, he became the guy who went to the number 3 spot in the batting order, and that seemed to solidify the batting order for Joe Morgan. And so Evans goes down for the second time via the strikeout route. That's 4 strikeouts in the ball game for Stewart, and Greenwell will come up.
39, Greenwell.
From above, we get a look at this swing and a miss. A swing and a miss looks the same from up there as it does from down on the field.
It still counts, doesn't it?
Missed the baseball.
Greenwell, who flied out to right field the first time, is up. We're in the bottom of the third inning. No score. The Red Sox lost a great opportunity in the second with the bases jammed. Couldn't get anybody in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Greenwell. I guess in an ordinary year, this guy might be a shoo-in for the American League MVP, but a guy by the name of Canseco had a little bit better. Left field, Tony Phillips. He's there. So it's a 3-up and 3-down inning. Stewart, who had a real jam in the second, settles down here in the third and gets to it easily. We played 3, no score.
You've seen Ford do this for years, but now there's a big new Chevy with enough power to not only haul tons of trucks up this mountain, but also tow away the entire mountain. The advanced full-size Chevy. No wonder when it comes to pickups, America's having a change of heart.
The heartbeat of America. That's the day Chevy truck.
Snake River, Wyoming and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Snake River means fly fishing for lunker cutthroat trout. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. An Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Fellas, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Thinking ahead, it's something you started doing the day you learned how to wish and plan and take measures to help your wishes come true, which is just what Allstate Universal Life helps you to do. To plan while protecting your family and save as your family grows at rates that could help make a lot of your wishes a reality. Allstate Universal Life Insurance, another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
This is a machine designed to keep you on time. And this is what makes it tick. People. Working together with clock-like precision, each dedicated to keeping you on schedule. Time after time after time. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
Top of the fourth, Fenway Park. Canseco, McGuire, and Steinbach against Bruce Hurst. Hurst thus far struck out 4, walked 1, and gave up the base hit to Henderson back in the first inning.
No, you know, I think Jose Canseco has an opportunity. That's the bullpen we're taking a look at. An opportunity to be baseball's next superstar, the one that can put people in the seats. He's a little brash, big, strong, hits home runs. A little temperamental at times, not afraid to speak his mind. It attracts crowds. It attracts the media.
Big and strong as he is, you can be temperamental. 2-0 to Canseco, and all of a sudden now Hurst is behind 3-0. There's a breakdown on what Hurst has done thus far. Oh, the Green Monster must have shuddered on that swing.
I don't think there was any doubt.
Well, Tony La Russa turns him loose, and he does what you're supposed to do with a 3-0 pitch, have a hefty cut.
Have a hefty cut, get the bat head out in front, and get that ball, give that ball an opportunity to get into your power field.
Edmund coming back. There'll be no play on that one.
Otherwise, 3-0, you do not want to hit a single to right field.
You see a lot of guys take swings like that, 3 balls and no strikes, and they foul the ball off to the other side of the diamond. They're behind the ball. You wonder what he's thinking about. You know what Jose is thinking about because he didn't even look at Jim Lefebvre.
So Hurst and Canseco now have a full count of 3-2. Leadoff man in the 4th inning. No score. Left field. That ball going back, and the ball is out of here. Canseco over the 37-foot wall. It's 60 feet high to the top of the net, and Jose has driven in the first run of the American League Championship Series.
This is what you call answering the bell. 40 home runs during the season, 42 home runs, 40 stolen bases. What are you going to do now, big fella? Well, here I'm going to show you 3 balls and 2 strikes. You see him close up a little bit, not quite as big a swing. And that ball was up on the bat, Joe Morgan. That was around the label.
Well, Bruce Hurst got the fastball in on him, but he shows how strong he is.
Greenwell knew it was gone, didn't he? He took about 2 steps and stopped. McGuire, who the first time out grounded pitcher to first. And this will be down the second base side, hustling over Barrett. There's one out.
The American League Championship Series, brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
So one run is in and one is down, and here comes Steinbach, who walked back in the second inning. Fastball by Hurst for a call strike. That home run by Canseco. He doesn't even have to get all the bat on it, does he? He's so strong he can muscle it out. Foul back, and the count now goes to 2 strikes.
I think any of your players, and Joe Morgan, you know that hit more than 30 home runs a season, you are not going to hit more than 30 home runs unless you can miss the baseball and still hit it over the fence.
Well, you have to have some room for error there. Most little guys have to hit it perfectly to get it out of the ballpark. A lot of the big guys can hit it on the handle, hit it toward the end, and it'll still go out of the ballpark. But as you mentioned, that's the difference between the 20 to the 40 guys.
He hit that on a 3-2 after he'd been ahead in the count 3-0. 1-2 now on Steinbach. It's kind of like you talk to the professional golfers. They say they only hit the ball maybe perfect 4 or 5 times in a round. But they still score. And Canseco not getting all the wood, but still getting it out of here. How many home runs do you think Canseco would hit if he played here? He talked like 52. I heard him say he thought he could add at least 10. Up the middle. That'll go in for the base hit.
I think with Jose's confidence, he'll tell you he hit 152. But you could say that about a lot of guys. If Joe DiMaggio played here, if Willie Mays played here, if Hank Aaron played here. If's the biggest word in the world. It's bigger than smile, and there's a mile between the S and the E. Try that one on for size.
Mike Greenwell also took offense at the fact that Canseco said he would hit 50 home runs here. Greenwell says he doesn't play here in the early part of the season when that wind is blowing straight in from left field and you can't drive a ball out of here.
Third hit of the ball game now for the A's. Steinbach down at first. A run is in and an out has been made, and this will be the second out of the inning as Baylor hit that one a mile high. Benzinger will put it away. Let's go back to Canseco's home run. The first scoring of this American League Championship Series.
He shortens his swing a little bit here and stays on the baseball. Does not pull off the ball. Stays right in there. Look at his head right on the baseball. Ball's a little bit up on the bat. Bingo. Home run.
He looked really perturbed at himself before that last swing. He was upset that he had missed on one, and boy, did he come back on in a hurry. Tony Phillips at the plate, looks inside. Phillips struck out back in the second inning. Down at first, Steinbach, 2 away. A run is in. Phillips is a right-handed batter, is hitting .282, but as a left-hander, .163. 1-0 Oakland. Steinbach earlier was on first and was held on by Hurst after walking. Now up there with a base hit. Got the outside corner, 1-1. Missed, and it's 2-1 now on Phillips. Crowd kind of quieted down a little bit here, this partisan Red Sox crowd, after that home run by Canseco.
Get on the wrong side of the score, you get quiet in a hurry.
Two and one on Phillips, and the count now goes to 3-1. Hurst throwing a lot of pitches. We're in the top half of the 4th inning.
I see Steinbach down there sneaking off the first base bag. He better be a little careful. Snap throw might catch him.
70 pitches already by Hurst. He's throwing hard, but he misses, and he walks it. So Phillips down to first now. Steinbach goes down to second base. That's the second walk given up by Bruce Hurst, and Gallego will come up. You know, you look at the tail end of this Oakland A's batting order, they're not all that productive. If you put their numbers together, they're only hitting .226 with 14 home runs, as opposed to the Red Sox last 4 batters. They're much more productive. They've had 43 home runs and hit .274. But right now, Gallego, who popped up, would like to do some damage in the tail end of this order. Runner at scoring position at second base is Steinbach. There he is. And down at first base is Phillips. It all began on the home run by Canseco.
This is a position where I think they would prefer to have Glenn Hubbard hitting. He has been a better RBI man throughout his career than Gallego.
Little check swing, and Benzinger will put it away. He'd like to have that one back. A little pop-up down the first base line. But 1 run is scored on 2 base hits. 2 runners left on. The bottom of the 4th, 1-0.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
I want a kinder and gentler nation.
It's the president who defines the character of America.
I'm a quiet man, but I hear the quiet people others don't. The ones who raise the family, pay the taxes, meet the mortgage. And I hear them, and I am moved.
The president, the heart, the soul, the conscience of the nation.
It's called Triple Jump Checkers. And every one of these cards, you have a chance of winning.
I want the Carnival Cruise.
What would you do on a cruise?
Because maybe I'd meet someone.
Yeah, right.
I can't wait to get the Pontiac Grand Prix, take a trip down to Atlantic City.
I'm going for the big one, the $1 million.
Yeah, me too. 5-1, man.
Let Mate show you how it's done.
Mate. All right, here we go.
All right.
You may have heard about them, even read about them, but you've never seen them before. Meet the effects wizard of the movie Big and the genuine Crocodile Dundee.
You got him.
Incredible Sunday premieres this Sunday night.
More Americans get their news from ABC News. The playoffs bring out the best. Watch the best in the news business tonight, before and after the game. World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Nightline with Ted Koppel. ABC News, America's choice.
Well, there's the difference in the ball game. Jose Canseco, 43rd home run of the year. The A's with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 4th. Leading things off is Benzinger, and this one will go down the left field line, and a great try by Lansford, and he got it. Carney Lansford made the catch.
Carney Lansford makes plays like this all over the Oakland Coliseum. There's a lot more room to roam in Oakland, and he makes diving plays of foul balls all day long. We see him here. It's over his shoulder. Now he looks to see where the stands are. So he's finding the stands, and now he looks back and finds the baseball. Great play by Carney.
Good point, though, Joe. When we go to Oakland, the foul area much, much larger.
Here's a guy who has struggled really the second half of the season offensively, but he never let it bother him defensively, the consummate pro.
Both of us were teammates of Carney's, and he plays the game hard every day.
Yes, he does.
Finally got some recognition this year in the All-Star game for the first time as Ellis Burks swings through the first one. Burks, the first time up, grounded out pitcher to first. Thus far in the ball game, Stewart has given up a pair of base hits, one in the first, one in the second. Count evens now at 1-1.
Jim Rice is very high on Ellis Burks. He thinks that this is going to be the next superstar in the American League. Reggie was talking about Jose Canseco. I think he's already a star. But Ellis Burks is going to be the next one.
Grounded foul, third base side. In fact, I think Tom Kelly said the same thing, the skipper of the Minnesota Twins. He said this will be the next MVP. He's the fastest Red Sox since Tommy Harper.
Well, when you get a guy like Jim Rice putting his stamp of approval on a player, you know it has some meaning.
Burks now staying alive at 1-2. Everybody bundled up. Temperature at the start of this game, 47 degrees. Supposed to get colder tomorrow, man.
And it will be at night.
Just missed, and the count goes to 2-2. See, they have the old foul weather gear out today. These people in New England, they know how to dress for this. Full count now, 3-2 on Burks. Stewart staked to a one-run lead on the home run by Canseco. On deck is Jim Rice, who singled back in the second. Burks stays in there. Burks was telling me he's having problems still with the wrist. He came into the year with an ankle problem. He had to have surgery. He recovered well from that, but the wrist still bothers him. Says it doesn't bother him until he starts swinging a bat. Count stays full at 3-2.
Hitting a baseball is a very tough thing to do when you're healthy, and especially when you have problems with your hands or your arms, it becomes doubly tough to hit the baseball.
That amazing, one home run in the series with the A's, and this guy got it. Called third strike. This gives us an opportunity to remind you about Saturday. ABC's college football features regional action as Ohio State meets undefeated Indiana. Or out of the Pac-10, a matchup as the Washington Huskies take on the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Mark the time down, live, 3:30 Eastern. Be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area. John Cooper's team has been up and down this year. Bill Mallory of Indiana, the only unbeaten team in the Big Ten. They've been tied once. Rice fouls that one back. Rice single back in the second inning.
Reggie, let me ask you a question here. You talked about Rice going the other way the last time up, getting a base hit. There are now 2 down. You're behind by 1 run. You still think that's a good play to go the other way for a guy like Rice, who does not run well, can't steal a base, so to speak, in this situation? Or do you think he needs to go for an extra base hit here?
I just think he needs to go for a base hit here, Joe. And you got a guy like on the mound like Dave Stewart as he fouls that pitch back. Stu now has only given up 3 hits. He seems to be in pretty good command, and you better get what he's going to give you.
But what if he makes a mistake and you're going the other way?
Then you better go to the monster, buddy.
That's what I mean. You have to look for the mistake.
1-2 on Rice, and that will make it into the stands.
I think when you're hitting in this situation, up until you get 2 strikes, I think you have to look for a ball that you can drive if you're not a guy that can run the bases well or steal bases. With 2 down and your team trailing by 1 run and you're capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark, I think your first couple of pitches you have to look for a pitcher to make the mistake and try to hurt him.
And he got him. So he strikes out 2. Erases the side in order. Still 1-0 Oakland. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
The battle for the National League crown has begun. Last night, Orel Hershiser continued to pitch shutout baseball as he stymied the Mets for 8 innings. Then Gary Carter's 9th inning 2-out double gave New York a dramatic come-from-behind victory. Now the Dodgers will try to even the series in Game 2 tonight after the debate, live on ABC Sports.
No matter how you drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Detergent Gasoline. It can unclog fuel injectors and give your car a new injection of power. Drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded. High octane with a plus.
Get a free 49ers glass with every fill-up of 8 gallons or more of Mobil Super Unleaded Plus.
Why miss your sister in Munich when you can talk to her for a song? A 10-minute call to Germany can average just 71 cents a minute. Your voice will be music to her ears. AT&T International Long Distance.
You don't have to fly to Tokyo to have a talk with your brother.
Because a 10-minute call to Japan can average just 95 cents a minute. Don't let another day fly by without a call. AT&T International Long Distance.
Ah, this is the good life, the life of La Costa. Leo McCarthy owns 2 luxury condominiums here. Market value over $500,000. Where does all McCarthy's money come from? Well, we don't know. Because while every major candidate on the California ballot, Bush, Dukakis, Quayle, Benson, and Senator Pete Wilson have released their tax returns while in office, Leo McCarthy keeps his tax returns secret. Behind closed doors.
On Golden Pond, Friday at 9 on Channel 7.
Sold out Fenway Park. They set a single season home attendance mark this year. 2.4 million plus. 56 consecutive home dates. They drew more than 30,000 fans as Walt Weiss leads things off. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. 1-0 Oakland. Weiss will be followed by the top of the order, Lansford and Henderson. Bruce Hurst still on the mound for the Red Sox. Fly ball left field going back, and that ball is off the wall. And going into second base will be Weiss. The throw coming in there, and you better hustle because when you go to second, it's not a sure thing. So Weiss leads things off with a double.
This is more of a fly ball, Gary, which gives them an opportunity to be running all the time and running to second base for a double. If you hit a line drive off the wall, you usually will be held to a single. Greenwell plays it about as well as you possibly can. There you see turns his back, and he's going to play the carom off the wall, and he'll fire it into second base, but Weiss hustling all the way makes it in there easily for a double.
4th hit of the ball game as now Lansford going to try to get on, and that goes foul. So Weiss will have to retreat back to second base.
This is what I like about Tony La Russa. He will do whatever he thinks is necessary to score a run or to win a ball game. You have a guy, Carney Lansford, who can shoot the ball to right field, but he wants to make sure that he gets Weiss over to third base, so he lets him go ahead and bunt.
Well, he's in a ball game here. It's a very, it's going to be a close game. You got 2 great pitchers here. There isn't going to be a lot of scoring. Consequently, he's playing for that 1 run at a time. You've got Henderson coming up with 90-some RBIs, and of course behind him, Canseco with 120-some.
Carney's one of those guys, get his uniform dirty. He'll do anything. And as you mentioned, trying to advance Weiss to third. 1 strike on him. Leadoff man at second. Weiss with a double. Outside, and the count goes to 1-1.
But let me ask you, Joe, you're a managerial candidate. Do you allow Carney Lansford, who handles the bat quite well, to play the ball to the right side of the diamond, have an opportunity for a base hit, or do you bunt him?
I'm not a managerial candidate, but I will give you an answer. I believe that I would let him go ahead and shoot. I think he tried to surprise him at first. Now he's going to let him take a shot at right field. No, he squares around again.
This time it's going to roll foul again. So now it goes to 1-2. You saw Wes Gardner just a moment ago warming up with the bullpen.
Now I think he'll take that shot to right field.
I don't think he'll bunt again. I agree with you. Although in last night's ball game, I saw Franklin Stubbs bunt with 2 strikes, or try to.
Lansford now with 1-2 on him. Looks down to third base coach Jimmy Lefevre.
See Gardner warming up in the bullpen. Is that a little soon for that?
Well, Hurst's been throwing a lot of pitches. We had 70 pitches through the 4th inning. 1-2 to Lansford, up the middle, and it's cut off by Reed. He'll go to first, and advancing to third base on the play is Walt Weiss.
Carney is not able to bunt him over, but he gets the job done by hitting the ball back through the middle, and Weiss is able to move over to third base on the play. It's a line drive, and Hurst does a good job of slowing it down. See, he gets his glove on it. That slows it down, and it gives Jody Reed time to come over and make the play.
Now, I think it should be noted that Carney Lansford did have a poor second half production-wise, but he hit a lot of balls like that. He hit into bad luck. As much luck as he had the first 2 months of the season, he had that much bad luck the second half, and there's proof of the pudding right there.
So now with 1 out, a runner at third, here's Henderson. In fact, Jim Lefevre is telling me that Carney had the type of season where everything dropped in, then all of a sudden nothing would go in for him. He was red hot and just as ice cold at stages of the season. But as you guys have mentioned, being the consummate pro, it didn't affect his entire game. 1-0 on Henderson, third base. Boggs checks a runner, now throws to first. 2 away. So after a leadoff double, Hurst now tighten it down a little bit, gets 2 outs, and that'll bring up Canseco.
Now I firmly believe that as we take a look up from up above, that Dave Henderson had a pull swing there. He should have forced that ball no matter what he had to do to hit that ball to the other side of the diamond.
That's the only spot he could have hit the ball other than to the pitcher that they couldn't have scored a run. The Red Sox were playing the infield back. A ground ball at shortstop would have scored a run. A ground ball at second base. So I agree with you. He should have been shooting the ball back the other way.
Canseco with a home run the last time up takes a call strike. He is 1 for 2. If you're wondering what that chant is in the background, they're yelling steroids as he comes to the plate and as when he went to left field.
And I think it's unfair, but that's what happens when people use innuendos.
Just missed. 1-1. No, they called a strike on it. Or did they? It's 1-1. One scoreboard saying now it's 1-1 on Canseco.
I'm quite sure now that Jose Canseco is going to have to hit a perfect pitch. That ball a little bit outside. He's going to have to hit a perfect pitch. He's got first base open, and yes, man behind him with 32 home runs, but he's going to be perfect, and he was right there.
And not only that, he's hit 42 home runs during the regular season, but Bruce Hurst has handled McGuire very easily in the ballgame so far. So it's a choice of 2 poisons, and I think Bruce Hurst probably would prefer to pitch to Mark McGuire if he cannot make the perfect pitch.
1-2 on Canseco. He hit his other home run on a full count. And he struck him out.
He went after him.
Did he ever? So after a leadoff double by Walt Weiss, he slams the door. Still 1-0. Oakland.
IBM presents You Make the Call. With a runner on second, a batter hits a ball back to the pitcher, who traps the runner off second base. After throwing the ball, he accidentally collides with a runner. Can he do this? You make the call.
Hello? Need a shipping date? Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Hello? You want research? Yo, price change?
The IBM Personal System 2
Research, yeah. All trends are up.
runs today's most popular business programs
Shipping. Be out in 10 days.
with superior graphics and speed.
The price on that?
The price is $89.99.
No wonder it's today's fastest-selling computer. The Personal System 2 family, part of the bigger picture from IBM.
If he does not have the ball, a fielder cannot interfere with a runner, even if it's unintentional. If you said that the runner is awarded third base, you made the right call.
A legend has been created. A better battery for the future. Better with more reserve power. Better with a warranty that lasts over 6 years. Better with a special $10 rebate available right now. The Legend from Napa. A better battery.
When lunch and a day at the park are too much for Tommy Lasorda, he reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion. And why should heartburn take the fun out of the game? Relief. You know how to spell it.
It's Chevy versus Ford, compact and full-size pickups in a test of standard 4-wheel drive systems. They start in 2-wheel drive, but they're going to have to shift into 4-wheel to make it across the ditch of doom. The Chevy shift and keep going, but the Ford drivers have to stop and lock hubs. Why is America having a change of heart in pickups? Chevy gives you standard shift-on-the-fly Instatrack. Ford doesn't.
The heartbeat of America. That's the day Chevy truck.
Gary Bender, Joe Morgan, and Reggie Jackson as we go now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Oakland on the strength of a home run by Canseco, leading it 1-0. Jody Reed starts things off and pops it up. Walt Weiss circling around, and the leadoff man is erased. Let's go back and look at Canseco, the mechanics of his swing.
Well, in this right here, this situation, you see him really wind up on this one right here. Bruce Hirsch was in a situation where he had a base open, and he refused to give Jose Canseco a ball he can handle. He made a couple of perfect pitches for strikes, then he threw a fastball up and got him to go for it.
Canseco going down on strikes. That was the 5th strikeout for Hurst. So Dave Stewart has the leadoff man, and here is Gedman. Right, remember the ball he hit that Weiss kept from going to the outfield and ended up loading the bases. One out. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Fenway Park. Gedman hops this one up. Steinbach circling under it. 2 away. So very quickly, the first 2 men are aced, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Wade Boggs.
I think, Joe, you'll agree with me that when a guy is throwing hard like Dave Stewart, you see a lot of pop-ups.
Yes, you do. That's a good barometer of how well he's throwing, and it also means that he's getting the fastball up. That means the belt high and above. You're not getting the fastball down in the strike zone.
Boggs is 1 for 2, singled and struck out. Call strike.
You're going to hear a guy tonight, Jim Palmer, who was a classic high ball pitcher. He threw hard enough to keep the ball up in the strike zone, which is really backwards pitching. If you throw that good, you can have success up there.
Boy, that one caught Steinbach in the face mask again. He's getting beat up in this game, isn't he? Stewart, by the way, grew up in the Oakland area. There is Terry. And as a teenager, he was a member of Reggie's Regiment. Foul back. A group devoted to Reggie Jackson.
Dave Stewart, I remember I used to go to the ballpark, and he would watch my car, stay with my girlfriend out there during the ball game sometimes. Then I'd give him a ride home after the game. He never said anything, and I said to him one time, I said, Dave, want me to leave you some tickets tonight? He said, no, it's more fun to sneak in.
I expect he enjoyed staying more with your girlfriend than the car.
Or me.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Boggs. 2 down here in the 5th inning. That's full now at 3-2.
There's a great eye right there. He doesn't even offer at that pitch. He just stays right off the ball.
And Boggs, as so reminiscent of so many times the plate, just gets a piece of it and stays in there.
But as good a hitter as he is having trouble with the speed of Dave Stewart's fastball. See, he's late on that pitch, Reg.
Left center field. Going back is Tony Phillips. He's on the warning track, and it's a 3-up and 3-down inning here in the 5th inning. Oakland, after 5, with a 1-0 lead.
What's so special about Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger? Bacon. Special sauce. Swiss cheese. More bacon. All on a toasted Kaiser bun. It's the only bacon Swiss burger with 3 strips of bacon. Ooh, doesn't that sound delicious? Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger. Come on in now and grab one while they're hot.
Guy came by today trying to sell me some imitation body parts. Copycat hoods, doors, and fenders for GM cars. But I wasn't buying. You see, I know some of those imitations don't come up to GM specs for fit, finish, and corrosion protection. How do you protect yourself? Ask to see a repair order before insurance work begins. And insist on genuine General Motors parts. Remember, it's your car, and it's your choice.
Here's why these New England fishermen take Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I get aches and pains, runny nose, nasally, and Alka-Seltzer Plus works every time.
When I get a cold, my head feels like it's 3 feet thick. Alka-Seltzer Plus helps break through, helps me get back on my feet.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds.
In a word, it works.
Try Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
Sneak a peek at what's new this fall.
D.P. Murphy.
George Siegel's a detective who's charmed.
God, I hope I don't have to hit anybody.
Imagine this, imagine that, imagine this and that too. This gumshoe's got all the luck.
I know you and Miss Finucci are roommates, but did you ever...
A pair with a knack for sleuthing.
I gotta get out of this racket.
Almost anything can happen. It's Murphy's Law, premiering this fall.
Tell me they have that in the life to come, and I'll build a church with my bare hands.
The American League Championship Series, brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean.
The familiar skyline behind the right field wall here at Fenway Park as we go to the top of the sixth. It'll be Mark McGuire, followed by Terry Steinbach and Baylor. Thus far in the ball game, McGuire 0 for 2. Fly ball hit deep to left field. Going back, Greenwell to the base of the wall. He's got room. Tonight, following the vice presidential debate, be sure to join us for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, the Mets and the Dodgers. The Mets pulling it out last night. Action begins live at 10 o'clock Eastern. And then tomorrow night, we'll hook up for game number 2 in the ALCS. The A's and the Red Sox go after it. And we'll begin at 8 o'clock Eastern, live tomorrow here on ABC. One down, and that brings up Steinbach, who's singled and walked in the ball game.
The Red Sox are going to have to start thinking about turning that offense on. They have finished the season not scoring runs. They're not scoring runs again today. They've got some guys like Benziger, 4 for 32. Evans, 0 for 12. They're continuing not to score, and they're just a couple of innings away of having Mr. Eckersley get up in the bullpen.
Boy, down the stretch, they had 3 1-0 ball games they lost. Could not score, and right now that's where they find themselves. Steinbach looking at the call strike. It's 0-2.
Well, one of the things that happens in a close ball game is you usually have one big swing that turns the game around. Now the A's are leading 1-0. When 2 pitchers are throwing as well as these guys are, you're not usually going to get 3 or 4 hits in a row to manufacture a run. So you either have to steal a run here or there or get it on one big swing.
And of course, the Red Sox are not known for stealing runs as far as on the base paths. As we mentioned, they had only 65 stolen bases. That was the low.
That's why they were shut out a lot toward the end, because when the guys aren't hitting consistently, they have no other way to score runs.
Grounded foul, third base side, and the count stays 1-2.
Well, a lot that you do not want to do, though. There's a happy little Red Sox, or because she doesn't understand the score.
Either that or she knows something. They're going to pull it out. 1 down. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 1-0. The difference, a home run by Canseco in the 4th inning. Third base, Boggs. Nice backhand. You know, one thing that they don't realize about Wade Boggs is he works hard in the field, not only at the plate.
Well, Boggs has taken a lot of pride the last couple of years in his defense. He's really worked at it, and he wanted to be a complete player, and I think he's done an excellent job. As we take a look here, this ball is down the line and it's deep. He backhands it deep behind the line, makes a long throw. That's not a short throw, fellas. It's a pretty long throw there.
Call strike now to Baylor with 2 down. Baylor 0 for 2, called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning. Evens at 1-1. If Baylor would get into the World Series, he'd be the first guy in history to play on 3 different teams in 3 consecutive World Series. Call strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's the one thing about being a good control pitcher, being known to be a control pitcher. You see Don Baylor shaking his head there because he thought that ball was off the plate. When you're a control pitcher and you're making good pitches, you get those pitches.
1-2 on Baylor with 2 down, and it evens at 2-2.
And that also works the other way for a guy like Wade Boggs. The umpires know that he does not swing at a lot of bad pitches. So if he takes a pitch, a lot of times they call it a ball.
2-2 on Baylor, center field. Ellis Burke seems to be camped in the exact spot he wants. It's a 3-up and 3-down inning. We go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 1-0 Oakland.
The American League Championship Series, brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
In the minors, you must have called it all 1,000 times. Then one day, you got the call.
says the rookie umpire.
You make America working. This buzz for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Compliments of that gentleman.
This buzz for you.
If you think being out of the house means being out of touch, you don't know Uniden. I've told you before, this is a great cordless phone. Going for a longer ride? Take a Uniden cellular phone, or two-way radio, a CB, a powerful scanner, or get the whole picture with a Uniden satellite TV receiver. Whichever you choose, choose Uniden.
Uniden quality goes the distance.
The Ohio State Buckeyes tackle Big Ten rival undefeated Indiana, or a Pac-10 showdown as Washington meets Arizona State, Saturday on ABC's College Football.
You may have heard about them, even read about them.
Are you the real Crocodile Dundee?
You got him. But you've never seen them.
If you think that's incredible, watch this.
Until now.
She's a local celebrity. Amazing.
John Davidson and Christina Ferrari host the premiere of Incredible Sunday this Sunday night.
Marty Barrett, first ball hitting left field. Phillips comes in. He's there. So Barrett starts things off here in the sixth with a fly ball to left field.
4.
Stewart thus far in this ball game has given up only 3 hits, none in the last 3 innings. He struck out 6, protecting that 1-run lead.
Now, I think you'll agree with me, Joe. Someone for the Red Sox offensively has to step forward and get something done, whether it's a base hit or a stolen base or something to fire this ball club up. And the best thing really to do it is a double in the alley or a triple or something like that, just to get things going.
Evans hasn't gotten it going yet. He struck out twice in this game. Right center field, racing back is Henderson. He can't get it, and it's going to go in for a ground rule double. And that's exactly what you were just talking about, Reggie. They needed something in the alley, and Dwight Evans got it done.
Something has to happen. Somebody has to be a spark plug. Someone has to be a catalyst. And this is where the experience factor comes in. Dwight Evans takes this pitch here to right center field, and the ball curves and hooks away from Dave Henderson. Ball bounces over the fence.
As an end result, a ground rule double, and there is the tying run at second base with 1 down. 4th hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. Here is Greenwell, 0 for 2.
But he's hit the ball pretty well a couple times in the ball game.
And listen to the crowd. They have come alive. Outside.
But I also think this is when Dave Stewart is at his best. When he's presented a challenge like this to hold the lead. The one thing Paul Molitor said in the opening was that if he gets ahead, he can hold it usually.
Caught the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on Greenwell.
Was that a reputation strike or was that a strike?
I don't know. Kind of the way we started the game, wasn't it? La Russa's team with a 1-0 lead. 2-1. Greenwell was the first Red Sox since Freddie Lynn in 1979 to hit 20 home runs and have 100 RBIs. On deck, Benzinger. Misses. 3-1. No activity yet in the A's bullpen. That'll go out of play, and it'll go full now at 3-2.
I think that's first left-hand Red Sox. With 100 RBIs.
Yeah, since Freddie Lynn, that's right. Joe Morgan took over this ball club after the All-Star break, and you know what happened after that. Marusa, his head disappearing from sight right now. 3-2. He walked it. So 2 are on with 1 out. Benzinger, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout back in the second inning.
I'm sure Dave Stewart did not want to walk Mike Greenwell, but he also wanted to make the pitch that he wanted, moving the ball in, out, up, and down. I don't think he's real unhappy about the fact that he did walk Greenwell in this situation, because now he has a double play set up on the infield, and he also has a right-handed hitter coming up after Benzinger.
That being Ellis Burks. So 2 runners are on now with 1 down. Bottom of the 6th. Boy, he went after a high one there.
Went after a bad ball right there, Gary.
I think what we're seeing here is Dave Stewart, when he gets in trouble, he goes to his best pitch, or what he thinks is his best pitch in that situation. And he's gone to the fastball and just the forkball. He's only using 2 pitches.
1 strike on Benzinger, and he misses outside.
That is the way he does pitch in tough situations, Joe. I've watched him all season long, and he's going to go to those 2 pitches. Going to try to set you up with that fastball and get you out with the forkball.
You can see now at the 100 pitch mark. Weiss. They got both of them, and they get out of the jam. So they're going to leave the base runner on. Still 1-0. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
The season's begun, so get ready for some fun.
Showtime!
First, make a date with the season premiere of Growing Pains.
Hello, Stinky. Yeah, how's that dress fit?
Then, it's the Genius Jock.
Look at this, a backfield in slow motion.
The season premiere of Head of the Class after the season premiere of Growing Pains, 2 weeks from tonight.
A crime quiz. Which candidate for president gave weekend passes to first-degree murderers who were not even eligible for parole? Michael Dukakis. Who vetoed mandatory jail sentences for drug dealers? Michael Dukakis. Who opposes capital punishment in all cases and even vetoed the death penalty for cop killers? Michael Dukakis. Which candidate for president can you really count on to be tough on crime? George Bush. Experienced leadership for America's future.
Another typical day in California. Some of us will take a double order a double-decker, or get 2 little ones whether we ordered them or not. And millions of us will take a few minutes to play Double Rainbow, the lottery's new scratcher. You could double your cash prize. Even take a double spin. Double Rainbow, another reason life's more fun in California.
I heard U.S. Air has more than 350 daily jet departures in California. That's more than any other airline. Guess that's why they're #1. U.S. Air has jet service to the most California airports. 5 in L.A., 4 in the Bay Area, San Diego, Sacramento. Hey, I need a hand here.
The making of Channel 7 News, Thursday after the game. The American League Championship Series. Brought to you by Wendy's. Old-fashioned hamburgers. The best burgers in the business.
Fenway Park, Boston. The Red Sox have had a couple of big opportunities get away from them. They had the bases loaded in the second, couldn't score. And then the twin killing by Benzinger hitting into the double play takes him out of the inning in the 6th. Top of the 7th, and Tony Phillips at the plate. Call strike. He'll be followed by Gallego and Weiss, the bottom of the order against Bruce Hurst, who's given up 1 run on 4 hits. He has struck out 5 and walked 2. 0-2. The hits are even, but Oakland, the difference of the ball game. Canseco's home run in the 4th.
Also, you could say the difference in the ball game is Dave Stewart had a couple of opportunities where he shut the Red Sox down. He struck out Boggs with the bases loaded, and he got Benzinger to hit into a double play and scoring opportunities.
Staying away from the base on balls, too, which was something that plagued him. Center field, Burks hustling in, and a long run. He got it. It didn't look like it was going to be that tough a play. And all of a sudden, Burks realized he had to really get up and go.
This is where he gets the tag that he has an opportunity to be a superstar. He gets a great jump on that ball, keeps his eye on the ball. He keeps his eye on the ball, and Joey keeps the glove up so that it doesn't hit the ground first and jar the ball loose.
Iago first ball hitting back to Hurst, and very quickly 2 away. I tell you, the Red Sox have to be a little bit nervous. This is what was happening down the stretch when they lost 6 of 7. Not able to score some runs, not able to get this offense going. Right now, as Steinbach gets ready to resume the catching duties, Weiss will come up.
Well, I think the other part of this scenario is the fact that the Red Sox know that Dave Stewart can shut them out. He beat them 1-0 in Oakland in his last start against the Red Sox. So I think they are aware that he is capable of shutting them out the rest of the way. And I think you're going to see some guys start to go for home runs pretty quickly.
Weiss, who doubled back in the 5th, 1 for 2, comes up with 2 down, and he takes a strike.
I just hope they're not the wrong guys to go for home runs, Joe, where they start succumbing to the pressure and trying to do it by themselves. That's the thing that has happened to this ball club. You can't do that.
Right field, Dewey Evans is there, and it's a 3-up and 3-down inning. We go now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bruce Hurst still trailing by 1.
Hello. Business has sure picked up here at Lucky's Castaway Club since he started serving our new Bartles & James Premium Tropical Cooler. Ed selected 5 natural fruit flavors to give it a lively tropical taste. Lucky's has become the in-place for trendy singles. Ed heard you could get hit on down here, but we haven't seen any fights, and everyone sure seems to like our new Bartles & James Tropical Cooler. Thanks for your support.
Bob, as your accountant, I have a confession to make.
What's that?
I'm jealous of your financial condition.
Really?
Just look at the dividend performance of your Northwestern Mutual life insurance policy.
I picked a winner, didn't I?
You sure did. Look at this. Northwestern Mutual has been a consistent leader in dividend performance going back 50 years.
And they've done it more times than any other life insurance company.
I wonder why they don't talk about it more.
Well, remember, they are the quiet company.
What's so special about Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger? Bacon. Special sauce. Swiss cheese. More bacon. All on a toasted Kaiser bun. It's the only Bacon Swiss Burger with 3 strips of bacon. Ooh, doesn't that sound delicious? Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger. Come on in now and grab one while they're hot.
Teach your team to play the right way with Major League Baseball's A Coaching Clinic. It's a great training video for coaches, dads, and moms, and a great learning video for individual players. To order your VHS copies, send check or money order for $19.95 to Major League Baseball, Box 88, Trenton, New Jersey, 08561. Or call 1-800-543-7800. New York and New Jersey residents add sales tax. The proceeding was furnished by Major League Baseball.
From high above, that looks like some kind of an insect, but that's the Charles River and Harvard crew working out. There's the play by Burks just a moment ago, and Burks will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that's the way it usually is. You make a great defensive play and you lead off the next inning. Of course, you guys always make good defensive plays.
What are you looking at me for, Joe Morgan?
I'm still offended because they showed me stealing a base in the opening and you hit a home run. I could hit a little bit.
Well, but Reggie couldn't run, so we had to use yours. Burks now with 3-0. Stewart on the leadoff man, dropping behind. Rice to follow, then Jody Reed.
They need a base runner here.
3-1.
He was taking.
Burks thus far 0 for 2. Called out on strikes back in the 4th inning. center field, and Henderson started to come in and waits on it, and the leadoff man is up.
He popped that ball up there to me, Joe, and it looked like it was a ball for him to drive. That ball was down and out over the plate, but he was lazy with the bat. He didn't get the bat with authority through the strike zone, and he just lazily popped that ball up. Should have had a better cut at that ball.
It looked like a defensive swing rather than an offensive swing.
Well, what was you talking about? Sometimes you can't just turn it on and turn it off. And right now, the Red Sox have not turned it on. Here's Jim Rice, who's singled back in the second and struck out in the fourth.
I think Jimmy Rice, with his experience, the fact that he's been here before, been on this ball club a long time, since 1975, he's had a tough year adjusting to the fact where he really lost his position to Mike Greenwell. He's got an opportunity to stand up and be counted right now, and I'm sure that's on his mind. He's one of the few Red Sox that has been swinging the bat well in the month of September. He hit 5 home runs.
Well, again, Stewart is behind 3-0, the second consecutive batter he's gone behind on 3-0.
And they have not taken advantage of it.
Here he goes. Same scenario, 3-1. This is a pitch that Burks skied out on the last time.
And there you see the difference between La Russa and Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan plays a conservative type game.
He walked it.
Whereas we saw earlier in the ballgame, Tony La Russa would let Canseco go for the home run or go for the 3-0 pitch to try to tie the game.
We're going to have a pitch runner now. Jim Rice will leave after walking, the third walk given up in the ball game. Kevin Romine, number 18, comes on to pinch run for Jim Rice in the 7th with 1 down, and Jody Reed coming up. Bob Watson alongside Tony La Russa.
You're not scoring a lot of runs, and this guy is swinging the bat well for you. You've got a close ball game. Do you take him out of the game now, Joe?
Well, you know he's going to get at least 1 more at bat because he's hitting here in the 7th inning, and he figures to come to bat again in the 9th inning. And I guess the question is, do you want him to get that extra at bat, or do you pinch run and try to score the run here with speed?
I want the extra at bat.
I agree.
Reed is 0 for 1. He walked back in the 2nd. Stewart with a tying run at first.
But I'm sure that Joe is feeling, hey, we're not scoring runs. We've got to do anything we can to get on the board.
Got it over, so for the first time in 2 batters, he gets that first ball over the plate.
And I'm sure he's figuring if there's a base hit now, Romine will have a better chance of going to third base than Rice would have in this situation.
1 strike on Reed. Romine is very fast. He had 92 stolen bases in his minor league career. Dwyer holds him on. 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Oakland. A runner on and 1 down.
I imagine that the umpires are watching Mr. Stewart close at this time, and I'm sure Dave's aware of it. I think he led the American League with 16 balks.
But he only had 4 since May. He really turned it around.
And you can see he's coming to a complete stop now. Early in the year, he was hitting and going. Now he comes to what the umpires call a discernible stop.
1-1 pitch to Reed. He hit him. So Reed will move to first. Romine will go to second. And Rich Getman is scheduled up.
I think we have a case here of Dave Stewart overthrowing his fastball. I think he was trying to reach back and get a little extra, and the fastball gets away from him.
Well, our radar gun clocked that at 91 miles per hour. Reed now at first. Romine the pinch runner at second. 1 down. Gedman, who is singled and popped up. Just outside. Stewart continues now to get behind the batters.
It's another situation for the Red Sox. They had the bases loaded with Boggs. They had a couple of men on with Benzinger. Here they've got a couple of men on again with 1 out. They've got to take advantage of one of these opportunities. It's getting late.
Right, call. Just caught the outside corner, and he reared back and threw that one.
That was a very good fastball from Dave Stewart. But I think you'll see Stewart try to get the forkball over to get the ground ball here. He wants the ground ball. He doesn't really want the strikeout in this situation, but he'll take it, but he prefers to get the ground ball here.
Inside, 2-1.
That was a forkball.
Take a look at your defense here, Joe. McGuire is playing in regular position for a double play.
Romine leads off a second. Edmund, that little helicopter swing we were talking about that is very indicative of a lot of the Red Sox pitchers or batters. Here's Eric Plunk and Rick Honeycutt. Plunk is the right-hander, Honeycutt the left-hander.
Still a little early for Eckerson.
2-2 on Gedman. Center field coming in. Henderson fell down. The ball hits in front of him and the bases will be loaded.
That ball was going to be caught because you saw Romine just stood there at shortstop and didn't even move.
Well, we've had rain all day yesterday and today, and it may have caused this difficulty.
Oh, I'm sure it did. You see Henderson fall down there, and this could be what the Red Sox need.
Here's Romine.
He didn't think the ball was going to be caught. He heads back to second base. Now the ball falls in after the slip.
I don't think there's any question it would have been cut.
Yes.
So now the bases are jammed with one down.
They call that a base hit. Those are things you can't figure.
Fifth hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. Boggs is up. Boggs with one base hit and 3 trips to the plate.
No, Gary, when you talk about, I guess, handicapping a game or who's the better team, you put things on paper and the experts say this. The coaches and baseball people say that. You can't figure in a wet field. You can't figure in weather. You can't figure in a guy having cold hands and not being able to grip the baseball.
Tony La Russa took a long time coming out of the dugout trying to give Plunk and Honeycutt some time to get ready for this difficult situation.
I think he's going to bring the left-hander in the pitch to Boggs.
And so a change will be made. We're going to be back after this pitching change. The base is loaded for the Red Sox.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
The new Chevrolet Corsica, the sports sedan that knows you have more important things to spend your money on, like your family.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet.
Now, a revolution in blade shaving from Remington, the new Remington Electro Blade, with vibrating blades for a close, smooth, comfortable shave. Safe, immersible, and cordless. The new Remington Electro Blade vibrating blade system.
Fixing this water damage will cost $1,200. Could I have prevented it?
New improved Thompson's Water Seal could, with 50% more active ingredients for better waterproofing on wood, brick, and concrete. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
It's America's fastest production car, the Callaway Corvette. To create a Callaway Corvette, the entire engine must be built by hand. Nearly 1,500 parts are redesigned or modified. What's one of the few parts that isn't redesigned or modified? A Champion Premium Filter, which is already engineered to meet the most demanding specifications. Champion oil and air filters, the filter line with the highest standards in the world.
At participating Sears, Coast to Coast, Myers, Western Auto Stores, or call the Connection.
The Clydesdales, the symbol of Budweiser quality. Of Beechwood aging, the choicest natural ingredients, and a genuine commitment to freshness and taste. One beer lives up to all this. Budweiser.
The left-hander, Rick Honeycutt, in relief of Dave Stewart. To get an inside look, here's Milwaukee Brewers' Paul Molitor.
Rick Honeycutt is an experienced pitcher who will be called upon in this series to get some key outs late in the ball game. He's very tough on left-hand hitters because with his motion, he has the ability to make the left-handers have a tendency to throw their shoulder out and not stay in on the pitch. He has tremendous movement on his fastball. It's a tremendous sinker. We'll see a lot of ground balls with Rick out there on the mound.
So Honeycutt comes in relief of Stewart, who goes 6 1/3, giving up 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 6, and then he had that very important hit batsman, Reed. And it all started out this inning very, very simply with a fly ball to center, a walk, a hit batsman, a single by Gedman. So at third base will be Romine. Reed's at second. Gedman down at first. Boggs 1 for 3 in the ball game. Here in the 7th, trying to do something about the 1-0 shutout they're facing.
All right, what I think we see here with La Russa bringing Honeycutt in is he wants the ground ball. He needs the ground ball. He wants a guy in that's going to throw the sinker, and he also brings a guy in that has a chance to strike Boggs out. But the sinker is what he really wants. If you hit the ground ball from Boggs, you will get the double play because he doesn't run very well.
Strike caught the outside corner.
They're playing for a double play as well because the infield is back. The third baseman is playing halfway. Shortstop, second base, first baseman are all back in double play depth, so they're going to give him a run if he can put that ball in play anywhere else or go for double play.
They're also a little deeper because he doesn't run as well. Normally you have to play a little shallow at second and short to make the double play, but they're back deep and they're still going for 2.
The left-hander misses outside. Honeycutt, of course, acquired in the last month of last season in a trade with the Dodgers. Kind of a finesse left-hander as you look at Romine down at third.
Got Wade Boggs again in a situation with the bases loaded. He struck out and failed once. It's not a good bet that he's going to do that again.
Boy, this A's bullpen has been something. They recorded a major league record 64 saves this year. 1-1 to Boggs. Left field. Tony Phillips makes the catch. Romine tags up at third, and he'll score the tying run.
Honeycutt gets the ball up, and Boggs is able to get the ball in the air, and it's deep enough to be able to score the tying run.
Well, you knew for one thing, Joe, as they were talking about some batters pull off the ball against Rick Honeycutt, and a guy hits 360. The last time he pulled off a ball is when he made a right turn at a golf course.
Here is Marty Barrett, 0 for 3. So the RBI sacrifice fly by Boggs to left ties it up. 1 apiece. 2 away. Runner still at first and second. Romine scoring as the pinch runner. So Rice really started all with the base on balls. Then the hit batsman. Gedman with a base hit. And then the sacrifice RBI by this guy, Wade Boggs. It's a good guy to have at the plate that makes contact in that situation.
I'm looking at Tony Phillips in left field, and he's playing a little deeper than they normally do here in Boston. I'm saying that because usually they have a shot at throwing the runner out at second from second base if there's a base hit that way.
That could be tough. Weiss charging, no, and a high throw, but McGuire stays with it. And so that will end the inning. That ball could have been some problems there, but they get it out. But coming back to tie it up, the Red Sox. 1-1 after 7.
Somewhere, right now, there's a clean, crisp, ice cold, Beechwood aged Budweiser with your name on it.
Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Bayou country. Places like this make you glad you take your car to Mr. Goodwrench, the GM service specialist. Mr. Goodwrench uses genuine General Motors parts, the kind your car was designed to use. Because Mr. Goodwrench knows in places like this, the last thing you need to worry about is your car. Mr. Goodwrench, no one knows your GM car better. No one.
This man is twice as strong as this man. Tom's EX is twice as strong as Rolaids. So when you have heartburn, get the extra strength and acid. Tom's EX, twice as strong as Rolaids. The product. The vehicles. The testing grounds. The results. STP oil treatment is the edge.
A major market recommendation from Merrill Lynch.
Now is a time of extraordinary opportunities. At Merrill Lynch, we believe interest rates will fall dramatically in the year ahead. Any near-term rise in rates, if one should occur, will be modest and short-lived. As a result, bonds and selected interest rate-sensitive stocks can be expected to rise sharply in value. Now is the time to act. We're ready with specific recommendations.
Merrill Lynch, a tradition of trust.
The Goodyear Blimp America. They've been at events every place in the country for the past 60 years. Mark Kynette, the pilot, starting to clear a little bit here over Fenway Park as Carney Lansford starts one off into the left field line. It's going down to the corner, fair ball. Lansford going into second, and he'll pull up with a stand-up double. First ball hitting Lansford, leading things off here in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Dave Henderson, who was 1 for 3 in the game.
Carney Lansford is a free swinger, as we mentioned earlier. He doesn't take a lot of pitches, especially for a leadoff man. But as Reggie said before, he's been swinging the bat well, just not finding holes. He found one there down the left field line, and he leads off with a double.
Excuse me, man.
Gary had said earlier, not a lot of production from the bottom of the order of the Oakland A's. Here you see it again, the top of the order. Lansford leads off with a double, and here come Henderson and Canseco. Seems like those guys hit every inning.
That's the 5th hit off of Bruce Hurst. Henderson has one of those coming back in the first. So the go-ahead run down at second base now for the A's. That'll make it into right field for a base hit. Lansford's being waved in by Lefevre. Evans with a bazooka for an arm, but he's going to go to second with a throw. So the A's quickly take the lead back. Base hit, RBI for Henderson.
This is what I call perfect execution. Dave Henderson going to right field. If he doesn't get a base hit and he doesn't do the job by getting a base hit, hey, he hits a ground ball to the right side of the diamond, you wind up with a man on third base and the major league RBI leader coming up in Jose Canseco. But he has success. It happens to get out there into the outfield. Bingo, base hit. I get the ball to the right side, and I get an RBI.
I think
Great
that's
success.
something, excuse me, Reggie, I think that's something that happened last time. He made a mistake by pulling the ball to the third baseman in that situation, so he goes the other way this time. That's Bill Fisher, the pitching coach for the Sox, coming out. He's going to talk to Bruce Hurst.
One of the guys warming up the bullpen is Lee Smith.
I don't think they'll use Lee Smith in this situation. They're already 1 run down. He is their stopper. He is their Dennis Eckersley.
And the other one is Bob Stanley.
I think Stanley would come in this situation before Lee Smith would.
Well, right now, no one's coming in as Morgan retreats to the dugout. So after getting this game knotted up, all of a sudden the A's come right back. First 2 men. Double by Lansford, and then Henderson singles. He's home, and nobody's out, and Canseco's up.
Don't be surprised if Tony La Russa doesn't put a hit and run on or something. Start Dave Henderson in this sequence.
Big cut, trying to pick up his second home run of this game.
Jose Canseco up?
Yes, he's done it a lot this year. Jose hits the ball out of the ballpark, but he has hit and run quite a few times this year with Jose Canseco.
1 strike on Canseco. McGuire due next. 2-1 Oakland in the top of the 8th inning. This could be a double play ball. Reed to Barrett to Bensinger.
This is your classic 6-4 to 3 double play. And you see Jose hustles it out. He almost beats it at first base, but that was your routine double play. Ground ball to shortstop in that situation.
Well, he is human, right?
Right, and that's why during the year they did hit and run sometimes. And I think it's a good play, even with a slugger like Jose Canseco. He hit 43 home runs, but he batted about 600 times. So there are a lot of other times he's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. You use him to move runners along, use him to get guys in motion.
There's some managers, and I played for John McNamara. even hit and run with me once or twice because he thought, even though I struck out a lot, it made me concentrate more and put the bat on the ball in some important situations.
I'm a believer in that myself.
1 ball now on Mark McGwire. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Now it's 2-0. Another thing about Canseco you mentioned, Joe, was how hard he legged it down to first. That's not surprising. He hustles all the time. Some of those big power guys once in a while go through the motions. 2 out and a run in. Slow breaking curveball caught the outside corner. 2-1.
You see he's feeding McGwire a steady diet of all-speed pitches, but he's making sure he gets them all away from McGwire. He's been able to do that throughout the ball game.
3-1.
Be interesting to see what he does here now, Joe. He's kept that ball pretty much away from Big Mac.
I think he'll go away again. I don't think he'll risk coming inside, even though he's
3-2.
That was a screwball.
Turned that ball over. The bottom fell out of that baby.
I tell you, McGwire can hit the breaking ball extremely well. He'll just mash it usually.
You see, he's set up on the outside and a good turned over fastball, good pitch.
He's an outstanding breaking ball hitter. He waits on the breaking ball very well and can hit it a ton.
3-2. Foul back.
You know, when you talk about him hitting the breaking ball, I think you will find that he hits the breaking ball better from the right-handed hitter than he does the left-handed pitcher.
Full count on McGwire with 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Got him. So Hurst loses the lead, but he's able to keep from further damage in occurring. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Oakland by 1.
All airplanes are created equal, built by the same people. But after they're built, something happens. People don't think of all airlines in the same way. Just look at all the business flyers that have flown with us over the years. Maybe it's that we fly to more business centers. Or maybe it's how we fly to more business centers. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Your man in Washington has come through?
The Americans will be most displeased. Observe the argon-activated radio-optic laser light.
Amusing, Boris, but the party demanded Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Where is Boris? He is enjoying a cold one.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
It's just like checkers. It's triple jump. It's 3 jumps. Boom, boom, boom. Every card has a prize.
Do you make the right choices? You get to the prize.
It's you.
One of those prizes is Pontiac Grand Prix.
This is a car that climbs volcanoes. There are 150 Carnival Cruise prizes. We could have a date and get married.
Let's talk about the big money. If you get the million, you can buy the Kirby.
I got a winner here. I don't believe it.
Play triple jump checkers at Burger King.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Crater of Fire, Chevy S10 versus Ford Ranger in a tug-of-war of power. And there they go, 2 compact pickups with biggest available engines and automatics. The Ford's trying, but look at that Chevy S10 power. Its bigger V6 is just too strong for Ford. Chevy S10. When it comes to pickups, no wonder America is having a change of heart.
The heartbeat of America. That's the Dane Chevy truck.
Well, we're going to have a new catcher as you take a look at the Charles River here. What a beautiful setting this is. Boston, of course, known for its outstanding universities. And what a sports town this is, as the day is starting to clear and as Ron Hasse will come in place of Terry Steinbach. Hasse, one of 3 catchers, which is something I want to bring up. Prior to the start of this championship series, Tony La Russa decided when he put Hubbard off the 24-man roster, he would go with 3 catchers. He's the only one of the 4 teams in the championship series to have 3 catchers.
Well, what that does is not really adding just another catcher to your roster. It adds speed to your lineup, because what it does is give him an opportunity to pinch run for Ron Hasse or Terry Steinbach with a faster runner and still have catching help sitting on the bench. I think LaRussa's going to come out, and we might see Dennis Eckersley here. He's made the call to the bullpen, and I'm sure that's who we're going to see, Dennis Eckersley, to start off the eighth inning here against the Red Sox. And we also might get a chance here, since we didn't get a chance to point out that Rick Honeycutt did a great job there in the last inning.
So Honeycutt will leave, and the guy who had 45 saves this year, Dennis Eckersley, will come on.
Gee, Ollie, this windshield's so messy, I can't see. We need new wiper blades.
I know that.
Make sure your windshield wipers work when you need them. Get a new set of Anco blades at least once a year and see what you've been missing.
Ollie, without new Anco wipers, we could have been hit by that piano. Oh. Piano?
When you move with Ryder, think of the unpacking as practice. Because only Ryder will enroll you in one of the country's biggest discount shopping services, absolutely free. Which means you can buy almost anything for your new home at some of the best prices around. So after you unpack, you can unwind. Move yourself with Ryder and settle in with the savings. Ryder, we're there at every turn.
Tell me, is he still upset?
Well, you know Dad.
Never really understood why I joined. I mean, maybe you'll go straight to college. But I had to prove something to myself first.
The GI Bill and Army College Fund. If you qualify, you can get more than $25,000 for college and an edge on life.
You think Dad will ever come around? Dad?
It's no big deal. Brake jobs? It's MasterCare car service. Premium brake jobs. Terrific warranty.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare car service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
Right of him. Now batting.
Dennis Eckersley comes on, and look at those numbers. 45 saves, one off of tying the major league record set by Dave Righetti, as Dwight Evans will lead things off. Greenwell and Benzinger to follow. We mentioned Hasse, the new catcher.
Because that's a defensive change is exactly what that is, Gary. I guess you could also ask, why didn't he bring in Eckersley to start the inning? He probably wasn't ready. So they gave him more time.
I tell you, they don't miss very many tricks, do they? So Eckersley, who has just been sensational, replaces Honeycutt, who went 2/3 of an inning. And as Joe pointed out, did a very good job. Evans swings through that one, and it's 2 strikes.
One thing about Eckersley, he doesn't fool around. He gets the ball and comes right after you. It's great to play behind a guy like that.
He comes into a game, and I know his teammates say that he creates a kind of an electricity. Really picks up the ball club. 0-2 on Evans, and he wastes no time erasing a leadoff man here in the 8th inning.
Be interesting to me to see where the defense plays here. I was talking to Dave McKay before the game, and he said with a 1-run lead, he is going to be playing his outfield deep. He's in charge of the outfield and controlling the defense. He said so last night, Tommy Lasorda, he thought had his outfield playing properly, playing deep, protecting that 1-run lead. You don't want the ball hit over your head. We'll see what happens.
That was a big out, and now we may have another big out, as on the first ball, Greenwell to left field, and Phillips, struggling, comes up with it. 2 up and 2 down. Eckersley has just been incredible. You remember, he was the last 20-game winner for the Red Sox until Clemens accomplished the feat.
There you see why he thought he was under it, but apparently he was not, because the wind blows it toward right field, and Tony Phillips makes a good play. The flag is blowing into right center field at this time.
That's that old east wind they talk about that comes over that left field green monster. 2 down now. Here's Benzinger, 0 for 3, hitting that big double play back in the 6th inning.
And as Reggie says, Eckersley just goes right after you.
He throws strikes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
There you see the flag blowing toward right field.
Got the outside corner. 2 strikes now. So Eckersley trying to slam the door here in the bottom of the 8th inning. How close is that to us? That looks like it's right above us, doesn't it? There it is.
Trick TV.
McGuire will charge. Eckersley covering, and it's a 3-up and 3-down inning. So Eckersley wasted absolutely no time erasing the side here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th. Oakland 2, Boston 1.
It's great. But we wanted a Bud Light.
Bud Light!
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Now go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet announces more Americans going back to work. The new second shift at our Michigan truck plant. They're dedicated to building America's best-built truck, the full-size Chevy truck, an American success story.
Oh, the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
There's only one place for that original taste. Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
Isn't this romantic?
We go now the top of the 9th in game 1 as Ron Hasse, who came in the previous inning to replace Terry Steinbach as the catcher, leads things up, and first ball hitting right field. Evans, 1 out. Baylor to follow now, and then comes Tony Phillips. Hasse has been a real addition to this ball club, playing on some bad knees, but tonight, I want to remind you again, game 2, the Mets and the Dodgers following the vice presidential debate. Action a little bit later than usual, 10 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC.
No, I think the only weakness that the Oakland A's may have is that their record is under 500 against left-hand pitchers. They're 22-25 against lefties. They knocked this fellow off today. From here on in, they're all pluses.
Well, not also to forget how tough he is in Fenway. 13-2, 25-6 over 2 years, and the Red Sox just aren't scoring a bunch of runs. Baylor looks at that one low, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Baylor thus far in the ball game 0 for 3.
One thing to reflect on the A's record against left-handed pitchers, Reggie, you know they have a lot of strong right-handed hitters, but a lot of right-handed hitters do not hit left-handed pitching as well as they do right-handed pitching.
2-2 on Baylor. There's the totals on Bruce Hurst. He trailed early in the 4th on a home run by Canseco. Then they tied it up in the 7th, only to see the A's retake the lead in the 8th inning. Two and 2 on Baylor. The bottom of the 9th, looking ahead to the Red Sox half. It'll be Burks, Rice, and Reed against Eckersley. Foul tip. Did he hang on?
The Romine for Rice. It'll be interesting to see if they hit for Romine. They
That's right. Rice did come out. That's right. Rice did go out as a pinch runner. Now we expect Romine to stay in as a DH.
No, I think they'll either go to Spike Owens, I believe, or Lance Parrish.
2-2 to Baylor. Foul back in the stands. No play for Rich Gedman.
I said Lance Parrish, who was obviously a catcher. I meant Larry Parrish.
Well, Lance Parrish now has a new home.
Yes, he does. California Angels. What about Bob Boone?
I don't know. What will happen to Bob Boone?
Bob Boone probably wonders what's going to happen to Bob Boone.
He hit 290. He'll find a spot somewhere.
2-2 pitch now to Baylor. Missed with it. 3-2. Boy, it's something when you got Baylor, who can come in as a DH from the right-hand side, and Parker, who can DH from the left-hand side. That's some experience, isn't it? Had a notion, and he walked it. So with one down, Baylor trots down to first. Then that'll bring up Phillips.
And they're going to pinch run for Baylor. There you see Joe Morgan.
Still haven't brought anybody out of the dugout as of yet. A little bit late arriving.
You'll see.
Question is, do you use Luis Polonia
or Javier
or Stan Javier as Polonia?
Yep, that's who it's going to be.
Well, this will be interesting because he didn't start Polonia thinking that Bruce Hurst would negate his speed on the base pass. Now they have a one-run lead here in the ninth, and they're trying to add some insurance. Will Tony La Russa give him an opportunity to try to steal second base? What do you think, Reg?
I say he'll take a chance and go for it. They've been an aggressive team all year long. I don't think they're going to change now.
And I think you have an opportunity to do it because you have a one-run lead.
He has 24 stolen bases. He's been caught 9 times, he being Polonia.
Would have been a little more of a challenge for Tony if it would have been a 1-to-1 game.
Right.
Phillips at the plate. Polonia the pinch runner, and again, you really have to be careful with Hurst. A's have 5 guys who have stolen 20 or more bases.
When I watch Bruce Hurst and his movement to first base,
Third base side, and it's going to go foul.
As I was saying, when I watch Bruce Hurst and his move to first base, I see the only way he could fool you actually is with the upper part of his body. If you really watch him closely from the waist down, which is what you should do as a base stealer, you should be able to read where he's going just by his hips and his leg.
That's easy for an expert like you to say, Joe, because you're one of the best all-time base runners. But a guy like him, you know, he's going to give you a couple of moves to set you up. Then he'll take a fellow that's not quite have as much experience as you or be able to read as well as you do, and then give him that A move.
Ball strike 2. By the way, Gedman this year has thrown out 39% of the guys trying to steal that base on him. 28 of 71.
By watching Polonia, I really believe that he does have him fooled. I was watching just his movement at first base on Hurst's first movement. You have to react on the pitcher's first move, whether either you go back or you move towards second. You see he's going back.
Ball strike, inside corner, and Phillips is the second out of the inning. You could see Polonia that time was really confused trying to get away from first.
What I noticed with a guy like this is you see a guy sitting there on his heels. He's not going to run from him sitting on his heels. You see a guy get up on his toes, then you be careful. Then he's going to make a move.
That's 7 strikeouts now for Hurst. Trying to close it down here in the ninth and hope for some help in the bottom of the inning. Gallego 0 for 3 at the plate.
One of the things you have to do as a base stealer, especially in this situation now they're 2 down. If you can't read the pitcher, then you have to guess, and you take off on his first move. I don't believe in stealing bases that way, but it does work if you can't read the pitcher, and you want to be aggressive from first base. You have to guess with him. And I don't mean this, you know, any way other than I see it very easily from here where he's going, home to first. And I think you just have to take a chance.
Center field. Burke's going back. And Hurst has just pitched his 8th complete game of the year, hoping for help here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Oh, the magic's gone. The minute the lights go out, you fall asleep.
It's time to change your bulb to Philips. Philips Longer Life Square bulbs last 33% longer than ordinary round bulbs.
Every day, American homeowners buy enough Weyerhaeuser lumber and other building materials
Need a hand?
to add 7,000 new rooms to the old address. And every day, during planting season, Weyerhaeuser plants 400,000 new trees on our forest land.
Thank you.
It's all in a day's work at Weyerhaeuser, the tree growing company, and more.
See you next Saturday.
Bob, as your accountant, I have a confession to make.
What's that?
I'm jealous of your financial condition.
Really?
Just look at the dividend performance of your Northwestern Mutual life insurance policy.
I picked a winner, didn't I?
You sure did. Look at this. Northwestern Mutual has been a consistent leader in dividend performance going back 50 years.
And they've done it more times than any other life insurance company.
I wonder why they don't talk about it more.
Well, remember, they are the quiet company.
When lunch and a day at the park are too much for Tommy Lasorda, he reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion. And why should heartburn take the fun out of the game? Relief. You know how to spell it.
Well, the Harvard Crimson here in support of their Red Sox as we go now to the bottom of the ninth. Ellis Burke, Spike Owen coming out of the dugout will follow, and then Jody Reed. Wait a minute, they did have Spike Owen. Now it's Romine back out there.
Well, Romine is in the ball game because he pinch ran for Jim Rice. Now, when his time at bat comes, they'll decide what to do.
Spike Owen was out there earlier, though, swinging a bat.
Yeah, well, it depends on what Ellis Burke does here. If Burks gets on base and they want to play for the bunt, they may go ahead and let Romine bunt him over. Or if he doesn't get on base, then Joe Morgan will have to make a decision. He'll either have to bring in Larry Parrish to go for the long ball, or he'll go with the left-hander against the right-handed pitching Eckersley by bringing in Spike Owen.
So a little strategy here in the bottom of the ninth. Eckersley went through the 8th inning in 1-2-3 fashion, and now with Burks ahead 2 strikes. Canseco evidently wants some sunglasses in right field. So a momentary break in the action.
Just wonder about Eckersley right here. You know he wants to grab the ball and throw it. He's a typical great reliever. The fellas that I played with, like Gossage, Sparky Lyle, Raleigh Fingers, they wanted to close the door right now and get it over with. It was fun to play behind those guys.
2 strikes now on Burks. He popped it up. Calling him off is Gallego. Now he gives up to Canseco, and he puts it away. 1 away. Now let's see. Romine's headed back to the dugout, and we'll guess along with you as to who's going to come out.
Well, he's going to go with Larry Parrish because he's going to try to play big ball here. He's going to try to get a guy that's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark to get him right back in the ball game and tie the score.
Boy, this guy was quite an acquisition. He was released by the Texas Rangers. Came in and gave him a real lift. So Larry Parrish now pinch hitting with 1 down.
This just isn't a very easy assignment because he's facing Eckersley, a big side-wheeling right-hander. He drops down from the side there, throwing very hard. He's had a great year. This is not an easy assignment for Larry Parrish.
I don't think pitch hitting is an easy assignment anyway, Reggie.
Well, look at the day it is, too, Joe. A little cool. Right. Larry's not 25 years old anymore, and I'm sure he's been up in that tunnel trying to get ready for this time at bat.
Well, he's 34 to be exact. Lee Smith hoping that he becomes a factor before the day is over. Larry Parrish was released by Texas, as we mentioned, signed as a free agent. He homered in 3 consecutive games, 4 of 5 in the beginning of September. He's had some big games in his 6 years with Texas, 2 years over 100 RBIs. So with 1 out, Parrish this year in a pinch hitter is 2 of 5 for a 400 average. Strike call. Boy, he just doesn't miss the plate, does it?
Well, I think this is a situation where he was cold coming off the bench. He wanted to take a look at 1 pitch. Now he's in the hole.
And that deeper hole, 0-2, as Hasse gets nicked on that one. Eckersley doesn't give you much time to look at anything.
You wonder here, would you rather have Jimmy Rice hitting after having a few at-bats today, a warm Jim Rice, or would you rather have a cold Larry Parrish coming off the bench facing the #1 reliever in baseball right now?
Well, as we talked when they pinch ran for Jim Rice, we knew he would have one more at-bat in this ball game. And I agree with you. I think they probably would rather have a warm Jim Rice, a guy that's had a few at-bats in the ball game, than having to send up Larry Parrish cold off the bench and say hit the ball out of the ballpark.
But he's got one swing left.
0-2 on Parrish. Good sidearm this time, and the count goes 1-2. At an Ocean, 2-2.
One of the things that Eckersley does so well is when he gets ahead of you, he usually closes you out.
On a 2-2, called, third strike. 2 down. And so Joe Morgan and his troops are 1 out away from losing game 1. Jody Reed will come up. Reed thus far has walked, been hit by a pitch, and popped out. Eckersley now has retired 5 in a row.
Not an easy at bat right there for Larry Parrish, facing that big leg kick and that sidearm wheelhouse motion.
Eckersley this time starts him out with a ball. 45 saves for Eckersley. Trying to close the door here and head into game 2 tomorrow night. Left field. It's going to drop into the corner. Phillips into the corner, digs it out. Going into second with a headlong slide is Reed.
Well, like Yogi says.
Reed gets out in front and he pulls it into the corner. You could see Tony Phillips was playing it pretty much straight away. He hustles over, makes a very good play out of this ball, and makes it a close play at second base. There you see the reaction by Tony La Russa. And he knows the tying run will be at second base.
Reed at second, 2 down. Rich Gedman, who has 2 base hits in the ball game, calls strike.
Well, you see that funny look on Tony La Russa's face. He's not used to seeing Dennis Eckersley do that kind of thing. This club was 82-6 entering the 7th inning with a lead.
1 strike on Gedman, misses outside. 1-1. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2-1 Oakland. The tying run at second. Joe Morgan's team with 2 outs trying to hang on. Swinging a foul tip. 1-2.
In a situation like this, Joe, with the game on the line, the pressure on the line, their #1 pitcher, what went through my mind was to get a good ball to swing at. Get the fat part of the bat in the strike zone where the baseball is, so that I give myself, my team, my manager an opportunity to win this ball game. If I put a good pass, a good swing on the ball, I give myself an excellent opportunity.
I think that's all you can ask for. You try to get yourself in a position where you get a good pitch so that you at least can have 1 good swing. You may have to take a strike if the pitch is lowing away or, makes a perfect pitch on you. But you try to make sure you get a pitch that you can have a good swing on.
The delay is some debris fell on the field in center field. They had to get it off. So they have that taken off the field, and here we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out. Tying run at second. Third base, foul.
You've got to get your thoughts together. You've got to get your act together and realize what this situation is. The game is in balance right now, and you've got an opportunity to do something about it. You got to lay off that pitch right there, which is eye high.
From a hitter's standpoint, you have to think about Dennis Eckersley. You say, what is his best pitch? And that's what you know you're going to get in this situation. His best pitch happens to be his fastball because he knows he can spot it. So I would bet 3-1 you're going to get a fastball in this situation.
1-2 on Gedman. 2-2. Start of the inning, he got Burks. Then he got Parrish. Reed, then with a double. Full count.
And he's tried to put him away with the fastball, and he's missed twice.
And this is called excitement.
And he's gone away twice, Reggie. Now he's got the inside opened up if he wants to take it.
Full count, and he walked him.
I can honestly say that I'm starting to get into it myself. You got a full crowd here in Boston, Beantown. Such tradition, the Green Monster. 2-1 in the 9th inning. Eckersley on the mound. I love it.
And who would you like to have at the plate any more so than Wade Boggs if you're the Red Sox? And here he comes. He's already driven in the only run. He is single back in the first. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Strike call.
See, this is a situation, Gary, where I said if you have 3 catchers, you can use a pinch runner. And now they're going to pinch run for Gedman at first base.
So Gedman will come out of the ball game. Ed Romero has come in as the pinch runner. So Romero at first. Reed at second. Another strike on Wade Boggs. Strike 2.
And you see Eckersley thinks that his fastball is his best pitch in this situation. He's gone right to it.
Now, wait a minute. Morgan is on the field. He's conferring with John Shulock, the right field umpire.
The only thing I could think of is that he thinks Eckersley is not stopping, or he's quick pitching his hitters. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I can think of.
This guy has 2 strikes on him, but he's the best 2-strike hitter in baseball.
Here we go. 0-2. Foul back. Boy, just kept that one off the end of the bat.
And here's an opportunity again for Boggs. He did the job last time up with the sacrifice fly. League's leading hitter, baseball's leading hitter at 366. You've got to do the job here. Your team expects you to do it. You've got to stand up and be counted.
Mike, a statement in the early part of this championship series. He struck him out, and Dennis Eckersley gets out of a big jam. And the Oakland A's have taken a 1-0 lead in the American League Championship Series, as Eckersley again coming through down the stretch. 2-1. So I think what's important about that is it could be a real confidence shaker had Eckersley not closed it out here with all that's remaining in front of him.
Well, I think the Oakland A's did what they had to do. They came in here. They've already won 1 ball game. I think if you would have said to them, if we go to Boston, can we win 1 and go home 1-1, we'll be satisfied. Now I think they will not be satisfied unless they go home 2-0.
Dave Henderson with a game-winning RBI. You're looking at Henderson, number 42. Canseco hitting the home run back in the 4th inning. As Eckersley coming in relief, the 3rd pitcher used. It was Stewart, Honeycutt, and Eckersley coming through to do the job, and really getting right down to a tough situation with 2 on and 2 out.
They're certainly happy. They certainly deserve that win. 2-1 ball game here in Fenway Park. That could be their only Achilles heel, left-handed pitching. It's the only spot where you see them not having success. They're 22-25 against left-handers.
And that was a home run by Canseco that gave him the lead way back in the 4th inning. The final score, Oakland 2, Boston 1. Tonight, following the vice presidential debate, the New York Mets take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. And tomorrow night, the A's and the Red Sox go at it again in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Action begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night on ABC Sports. For Reggie Jackson and Joe Morgan, I'm Gary Bender. The blimp provided by Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. We'll talk to you tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock from Fenway Park in Boston. 2-1 Oakland over Boston.
The American League Championship Series has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. And by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
More Americans get their news from ABC.